not going to treat any of these people with disrespect. Look, they built the country. The reason our economy is growing. We have to control the border and more orderly flow, but I don't share his view at all.
So you regret using that word?
Yes.
We had to go back a second time. Let's drag it through more time. We got to get this out of this whole thing. Now, the Riley family, of course, met with President Trump at a rally. Biden on Friday goes with the suburban dopes. Yeah, that's what these people in the suburbs continuing this subterfuge with this guy. The appeal to suburban women. Essentially, it comes down to two things. You can abort all you want, and two, you can look your kids in the eye. See, you can abort all you want, but you can still look your kids in the eye because Trump can't tweet about anything. That was the appeal out in Strathaven. You know, an easy follow-up question would be, well, why can't we call? Well, what's the theory here of why we can't use this term illegal, an illegal immigrant, or someone who is here legally? If we have to go to that kind of convoluted language, like someone who is undocumented, if you can say an undocumented person, why can't you say an illegal person? Well, I really can't answer that. We're just going to do it. So you regret it. I thought he'd go back a third time. Do you double regret it? What are you doing for penance? Amazing. Here's what President Trump said while that was going on at the rally in Rome, Georgia. This is cut 4.
The suburban, they always say suburban housewives, they want something that's very important, security. They don't want illegal immigrants coming into our country. They don't want illegal immigrants knocking on their front door and saying, I'm going to use your kitchen and I'm going to use your bedroom, and there's not a damn thing. And that's the nice ones, okay? That's the nice ones.
I don't think that's strategically a good way to go with the suburban moms. It's easy for me to go on the attack, but if you're running for president, we got to coddle these people over the finish line. The thing that got me over the weekend, Dan, just tell me, are you ready with the Laura Trump? Yeah. Laura Trump with Maria Bartiromo made me put up a poll in which I asked simply, and I left it kind of nebulous just to see what people would do. I said, Laura Trump has taken over as co-chair of the RNC. She says we need to use mail-in balloting, legal harvesting, early voting. Do you agree? Do you strongly agree? Do you moderately agree? Or do you still disagree? About 26% said they still disagree. Now, they said they intended the question to me and they don't like it, but we may have to do it. I left it nebulous just to see where people are. Here's what Laura Trump said, a two-part operation. Offense, the Scott Preslers of the world, mail-in balloting, early voting. She's talking about unveiling something the RNC has never done, a unique way around ballot harvesting. And then the defense that made even more news, which is their election integrity squads. Thousands of volunteers across the country. And what's making news right now, I just saw Newsweek. She talked about, we're going to prosecute you. If you're involved in any shenanigans, we will fully prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. That's lawful. Why can't you say that? All right, here's what she said with Bartiromo.
We have 3 pillars that we need to focus on at the RNC to ensure victory on November 5th. Turn out the vote, protect the vote, and raise money. But I would argue that maybe the most important of those 3 is protecting the vote, election integrity. We have to ensure that when people go vote, they feel like their vote counts, that they are inspired to go vote. We can never allow what happened in 2020 and the questions surrounding that election to ever happen again. So I'll tell you right now what is already underway at the RNC. We have, for the first time ever, an election integrity division. This means vast resources dedicated solely to this cause. We are going to have, and we've already started working on, And I'll tell you, Monday, we're going to expand all of it. A nationwide network of volunteers, whether it's poll watchers, trained poll workers. These are people who can physically go in, count ballots that are coming in, know how many are coming in, how many are going out, volunteer and paid attorneys. If you are an attorney who wants to volunteer, we want you. DonaldJTrump.com, GOP.com. Please come volunteer. And we currently have 78 lawsuits out right now in 23 states across this country to make it easier to vote and harder to cheat. And here's what I want to say to anyone out there who is thinking about cheating in an election. We will go after you. You will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. It is not worth it. Every person in this country, Maria, whether you are Republican or Democrat, should want free, fair, and transparent elections.
All right. Now, does that sound someone, if you have any doubts about mail-in balloting, early voting, all these other things, that's not someone who's rolling over and saying we're only relying on that. That is the perfect expression. Now, implementing it, executing it, I got to see that this is rolling out there on this in the manner the Democrats have. Mail-in balloting, early voting, harvesting where it's legal, and then the election integrity squad, that project, pushing back against any kind of shenanigans, cheating, any unlawful action, etc. Now, when we get her on again, which hopefully will be this week, I'll try to make the point again that, you really got to go all out to make this happen here in Philadelphia. Can you imagine? Wouldn't you feel better to say, boy, this is an operation. Here's a metric. If they had someone seated all day long in the polling places in Philadelphia on election day. Now, I'm not sure what she's talking about in watching the mail-in ballot. That's a little bit unclear to me. I know in the suburbs and all, in Philadelphia, we don't have anybody that represents us. This guy's worse than Al Schmidt, the guy that's the commissioner in Philadelphia. And you know what? Be good to get him on and just that I'll tell him that I'm very suspect of him. What's he going to do to ensure to vote? The Republican representative in Philadelphia would be interesting to take his temperature. But it seems to me that this is a call to arms that can be very, very effective. All right, let me give you the side question today. We have Zim Along, our attorney in residence. He's with the Stephen Miller National Legal Group. He has put a shout out in various places. He will defend without cost the firefighters who both booed or at least yelled Trump, Trump, Trump when the Attorney General of New York showed up at a firefighter's promotion. She chastised them and said, we're in a house of God. Yeah, give me a break. The head of the firefighters in New York it's a female, is not well liked, to put it mildly. She has told them, if you don't come forward, I'm going to hunt you down. Zim Along is going to tell us what the defense would be for these firefighters. Imagine, I'm going to hunt you down.
Wow.
Because this Attorney General, Letitia Jones, is someone who swore to take out Trump, and that's what she is engaged in and all. Now, it's a little bit when you have a speaker up there and you start yelling Trump, a couple hundred of you, I get it, the difficulty, but that's not something you can be punished for. That's what Zim Along is going to tell us. All right, so 855-839-1210, you get on board. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, you just push pound 1210. Side question today. National Cereal Day is this week. And about a year or two ago, maybe even longer, when Joe Sibilia was here, because he was a food mascot.
Yes.
We
Red Robin, I think, right?
Yes, he was a Red Robin. We asked for that all-time some food mascot. I'm going to take out of the box, even though I don't think it'd be the number one answer. Just due to Seinfeld. It's one of my favorites, Mr. Peanut. Every time I'm on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, you see Mr. Peanut. The cutest, arguably, is the Pillsbury Doughboy. Who doesn't like that? And Tony the Tiger, of course, is either 1, 2, or 3. He's kind of the chalk in food mascots. for a lot of reasons over the years. How about yours, Dan?
Well, the one I relate to most to is one I've dressed as for Halloween before, the Jolly Green Giant.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice play by you. That's
Yeah.
an easy thing. Okay, so remember, when you call in, you can't just say the food mascot. You got to give us Jan just gave it, the one he relates to the most. You know, maybe you remember it as a kid. You had fond memories of that. Maybe you think it's just an amazing choice. You know, how do they create these food mascots? By the way, Oscars last night, Jimmy Kimmel, as bad as you can imagine. We got a little bit of sound from that. I don't understand how the guy in Oppenheimer won the best actor. I don't see it.
Get it. Cillian
He
Murphy.
was, yeah, I mean, the film is unbelievable, but he was blasé to me, just way understated. It's clearly Paul Giamatti
Yes.
in Holdovers.
I like that the girl from Philly, though, won.
Yeah,
in
so I
Holdovers, yeah.
wonder if that was like the consolation, you know, they had to give something to the film. And
Yeah, Divine Joy Randolph. Congratulations.
just the just the amount of this is when Hollywood is at its worst. When it sides with groups, violent extremists, Hamas, that would kill them in an instant or hold them hostage forever. This is when they show themselves. Look, the Trump stuff is one thing. But the stuff they were saying, including one guy who's Jewish and said he renounces his Jewishness, and his colleagues do too. He won the award because they're hijacking the Holocaust to use it as a shield for their attacks. Wow. I mean, when they get onto this, they show themselves to be in a worse bubble than you can imagine. And the mob made them walk there. They had to be escorted by hundreds of security. I don't know if they put a red carpet down for a couple of blocks. I heard that, but that can't be, right? Traffic couldn't get in there due to the mob that was blocking it. This is what they are. They're naive, they're stupid, they're self-absorbed. And this is the way they're going to go. They think this makes them better than you and me because they support the little guy here. Israel's the big guy. How dare they try to protect themselves? All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210.
Can I play the reaction when Jimmy Kimmel read a mean tweet from Trump?
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure.
Listen, just the Hollywood elites just frothing at the
I
mouth.
will just say this, though. Trump was a little bit off in part. You know, I got the George Slopanopoulos and all. Go ahead.
Would make everybody on stage look bigger, stronger, and more glamorous, blah, blah, blah. Make America great again. Okay, now, see if you can guess which former president just posted that on Truth Social. Anyone? No? Well, thank you, President Trump. Thank you for watching. I'm surprised you're still, isn't it past your jail time?
Yeah, how long was he sitting on that line? Yeah, that was written, you know, they're in the writers' meeting for hours. Not only that, they got done early, and he tried to stretch it for a little bit at the end, I saw. And Al Pacino, you know what, buddy?
Oh, what was that?
You may be, you are a great actor, or was a great actor. When you go up there, though, first of all, you had nothing. You have to read off the 10 films. I mean, this is a big category. You can't go, my eyes tell me it's Oppenheimer.
What was that?
Yeah, and then people are going, did Oppenheimer win? You know, is this a Steve Harvey? What happened here?
Well, I was wondering, is Al Pacino offering his opinion before reading it? And I think a lot of people in the audience were wondering the same thing.
But he was supposed to read the 10 films. That's the big category. That's what people know the most.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Kimmel, cheap shot about drug usage from Robert Downey Jr. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, anything. That's a
He's
laugh.
remarkably unfunny. Like,
Oh,
I don't know if he
yes.
could try to be as unfunny as Jimmy Kimmel is.
Yeah, I agree. It's stunning. And it could be Colbert that does it. You can imagine.
That's true. I should be careful what I wish for.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he's tied into ABC. As long as he's on ABC and it's on there, that's who they're going to tag in. Imagine Ricky Gervais with the guy who renounced. He comes on back to the mic after the guy renounced his Jewishness. What might have happened there? Oh, my God. All right, 855-839-1210. You can get in. Coming up, your calls. And on totality, I'm with Nancy Mace yesterday, but I'm not with her totally in the showdown with Stephanopoulos, if that makes any sense. Not going to be a hack. In other words, continually saying you're trying to shame me only goes so far. But when you look at the totality of what Stephanopoulos is and does, then I got to give it to Nancy Mace. All right. So you can tell me if you agree with that. 855-839-1210. All right, Tom Giordano show. I need one of our, John of Wildwood, Dan, is a guy that comes to mind. I'm sure he'll get over there. Wherever the Walk of Fame is, I think I know where the parking lot is. It's near La Cucina on Pacific. I think that's where the Chubby Checker is. One of our salespeople apparently believes that my star is on that Walk of Fame, Dan.
You have a star?
Right next to Chubby Checker.
No.
Oh, my God. Giving my dancing.
You sure it says Dom Giordano and not Don Geronimo?
Yeah, maybe that's, the Don Geronimo thing again. Given my lack of dancing in any way, shape, or form next to the great Chubby Checker, is Chubby Checker still alive?
I don't think so.
No, I was going to say,
well, hold on. Let me check just to make sure.
we would invite him to Mulligan's this.
No, he's 82. Wow.
I thought he might be.
Yeah, he's still around.
If he's anywhere near there, Dan, that's the guy we invite to Mulligan's, along with our Scotch tasting with Jeff and Drew. These are all.
Am I seeing tour dates still for Chubby Checker? No.
Ah, perfect.
No.
Tom Giordano Day.
April 13th, he's playing in Cerritos, California with Gary Lewis.
All right. Is he going to be anywhere in the summer nearby?
July 14th, he's in St. Charles, Illinois with a dance floor.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Mark that one down.
Oh, you know what? September 28th, Wilkes Bar. 60s
Okay.
rock and roll with Chubby Checker, the Vogues, and Dennis Stefano.
Okay. So he must be somewhere in the area, too, and then still touring. Wow.
That's awesome.
I need a sighting on that. Somebody in our Wildwood
We're kind of
area.
burying the lead here, though. I still
Yeah.
can't believe that you have your own.
Well, why not? I mean, come
Sorry,
on.
man.
It's
No, that's
mystery.
great.
Wildwood's my second home. Come on. North Wildwood should do that. While they still have a beach left with Governor Murphy.
So I'm looking here, Avenue of the Stars. It's on Pacific Avenue in downtown Wildwood.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
It says it recognizes the people who played a role in the Wildwood's music history. They can include bands, solo singers, disc jockeys, comedians, etc. Some of the names we saw on the stars were names we were familiar with and others we had never heard of.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Sorry, this is a blog post I'm reading here.
Okay. Yeah, I got to get to the bottom of this. If it's right next to Chubby Checker, wow. That is an all-time.
I really want to find out. Can
You know
I take off?
Yeah, I think you ought to take off and head to the Wildwoods. It's a great beach day, kind of windy there.
Yeah,
Yes.
a little bit windy, kind of chilly.
All right. President Trump was on CNBC today. Listen to what he said about being a conservative. And I get what he's saying, but it is kind of shocking to people. He told CNBC Squawk Box, Dan, he's not a conservative. Here's what he said.
It's really going to be success. We're going to turn our country around. We're going to bring sense and common sense. You know, people say you're conservative. I'm not conservative. You know what I am? I'm a man of common sense. And a lot of conservative policies are common sense. We're not going to have open borders. You're going to have to come in legally. We're going to close up the borders. I had the best border. I had the safest border in the history of our country. And it was all he had to do is he could have gone to the beach like he likes doing. He thinks he looks good in a bathing suit. If he would have left everything in place, including the people that were doing it, I had the best border in history. We built 570
all right.
miles
We got enough
of wall. I got Mexico to give us massive numbers of free souls.
The bathing suit comment was good. But what about saying, well, I'm not a conservative? I don't know about this. Policies are. You know, he has in his mind, he can bob and weave. Conservatives can do that too. Just saying. All right, let's go to Lou and Langhorne. We remember his call. It was right before Laura Trump was on the show before. This is before she was named co-chair, but the rumor was she would be. Let's go to Lou. Hey, Lou, good Monday. Your wishes came true here.
Hey, Dom, and I'm a man of my word. I sent an email to Greg Stocker with an image of the $500 that I said I would do.
Oh, I didn't remember it as 500.
Not only did I send that, I sent $50 to Dave McCormick, and I think I'm also going to be a poll watcher or counter. I've had enough. I can't take it anymore. So I wanted you to know that I confirm. Now, I'm not expecting other people to send $500, but if you're really wanting to make a change, affect a change, you got to be invested, and you have to be invested financially. $5, $10, lots of people, 80 million times 10, 800 million. Wow, what would that do?
Well, and you know what I would do with that 800 million? I'm not kidding, Lou. I know it seems crazy. You know what I'm doing with 800 million? I'm putting it on the table right here, plunking it down. I'm winning Pennsylvania. Yeah, but what about I'm winning Pennsylvania? We've done it. The rest will take care of itself.
And we can. But anyway, thank you. I wanted you to know, please let Laura know if you
I
see
will
her, okay?
when we get her on. Lou, thank you. And again, keep us abreast. If you become a poll watcher, we want to chronicle that with you and get you on talking about it.
I'm going to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Thanks very much.
Man of his word.
Yes, 500. I thought it was only 100 then. That's great. He's right, though. 80 million times, 10 is 800 million. I don't know. It's personal, too. I see Josh Shapiro over there saying, no way. I'm going to do anything to win Pennsylvania. Win Pennsylvania, you win. I'm not counting on Michigan, and you start hearing all these things. I'm a little shaky on that. Georgia, Arizona look good. Wisconsin's another kind of feels like a reach. This is where the battle is. Where did Biden go right after the State of the Union? Strathaven, Pennsylvania, right away. That much he knows. That much he's counting on. That Pennsylvania will bail him out. 855-839-1210. We're looking for a food mascot. That's the side question today. Coming up, we'll get into this whole Nancy Mace thing. Just a couple of thoughts on. Then I'll play what she did with Stephanopoulos. Ordinarily, Dan, I don't know about you. It's a bit of a stretch to say you're trying to shame me because I'm a rape survivor, and you're just trying to rub my nose in it. I see some of that here, but my beef with Stephanopoulos is, if you want to make this case, Georgie, you got to be accurate. Trump was not convicted of rape in any way, shape, or form. There's no criminal trial. It's civil. Not defending any of what he was found guilty of. But you got to be accurate in here if you're going to duke it out. The second thing is, and I've interviewed all of them, the most compelling to me was Kathleen Willey about Bill Clinton and sexual assault. There are at least 3 that we know of that have come forward over the years. Paula Jones, Broderick, and as I said, Willey. And then all the other Clinton-esque adventures there. So, when you have that kind of background, that's how you got to where you are today. You might want to not engage quite. You might not want to put all your chips on the table with this. All right, let's go to Jim in Warminster, Talk Radio 1210. All right, Jim, who's that food mascot?
One of my favorites, Cookie Monster.
How is he a food mascot, though, Dan?
I don't know. Has he ever sold cookies? Is the
Right.
question.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. What's he? See, a food mascot is associated with some product or something.
It might work.
All right. We'll take it under advisement. Yeah. I just think
it's more of a character.
It's a character. Yeah.
Food,
well, we'll put it
right?
down there. We'll see how it does with the others that we get. All right. Here's the exchange with Nancy Mace, and then we'll talk about it. The major exchange about shaming someone who was raped.
And you've endorsed Donald Trump for president. Judges and 2 separate juries have found him liable for rape and for defaming the victim of that rape. How do you square your endorsement of Donald Trump with the testimony we just saw?
Well, I will tell you, I was raped at the age of 16. And any rape victim will tell you, I've lived for 30 years with an incredible amount of shame over being raped. I didn't come forward because of that judgment and shame that I felt. And it's a shame that you will never feel, George. And I'm not going to sit here on your show and be asked a question meant to shame me about another potential rape victim. I'm not gonna do that.
It's actually not about shaming you. It's a question about Donald
No, you
Trump.
are shaming
You've
me.
endorsed Donald Trump for president.
Right.
Donald Trump has been found liable for rape by a jury. Donald Trump has been found liable for defaming the victim of that rape by a jury. It's been affirmed by a judge.
It was not a
repeated the-
criminal court case, number one. Number two, I live with shame. And you're asking me a question about my political choices, trying to shame me as a rape victim, and I find it disgusting. And quite frankly, E. Jean Carroll's comments when she did get the judgment, joking about what she was going to buy, it makes it harder for women to come forward when they make a mockery out of rape, when they joke about it.
Doesn't it make it harder for women to come forward when they are
It makes it
defamed by
harder when other
presidential
women joke
candidates?
about it, and she's joked about it. And I find it offensive. And I also find it offensive that you're trying to shame me with this question.
I'm not trying to shame
You
you
are.
at all. In fact,
I have
called you
dealt with this
candid.
for 30 years.
All right. So again, George Stephanopoulos is imprecise, to put it mildly. B, he did invite her on because he knows that fact, and that's where we're going to go with this. And C, he wasn't convicted, to her point, of rape. Now, that doesn't mean, if we want to get into the, and then Stephanopoulos, I don't want to do whataboutisms, but when your major career reason, you're the star of ABC, more and all that, you came through Bill Clinton. And you covered up a tremendous amount, not just of cheating on his wife, but these were actual cases of alleged sexual assault. Willie is the one that was the most compelling to me. Do I think Clinton did it with Broderick and also Paula Jones? Yeah, but I'm having Willie on. It was very, very compelling. Her rendition of it, and you were one of the henchmen. You were in charge of his communications. So, it puts you into a spot here that is very awkward to go down this line of questioning. And you are underlining the fact that she was a rape victim to then say, how could you do this for a rapist? That's what the interview was about. Dan, any quick thought on that?
I just think it's ridiculous for him to frame the question the way he did it.
Right.
I think it was, and I just to take what was decided there and then try to push it on somebody else for supporting it that's been raped in the past, and essentially bastardizing it and turning it into you're defending this person who raped is just wrong to me.
Yeah, and I don't know that he's trying to shame her, whatever. But you know what? She knows the game. What would people on the left do in a situation like that? They would continue to repeat that because they know you can't say anything. Stephanopoulos looked really bad here on the totality of it. Even though Nancy Mace is, difficult to put it mildly, she's all over the place. I'm looking a little bit more on Fox that the firefighters did chant Trump as the Attorney General James took the podium. We're going to hunt you down. 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Let's talk FanDuel for a moment to start off the week. FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, is putting the ball in your court for the rest of the NBA season. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 if your bet wins. Bet on the NBA, wide range of bet types, including quick bets, live same-game parlays. Here's what you do. Visit FanDuel.com/Dom, D-O-M. Really easy to do. Make that first bet a layup. FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. Have to be 21 plus. Present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds guaranteed with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into their radio show Sundays at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
Without the ones like you who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
With the right treatment and support, recovery from addiction is not just possible, it is probable. Millions of Americans have gone on to live fulfilling lives in recovery from addiction. You can start your journey to recovery today. Call 1-800-662-4357 for drug and alcohol treatment and support services in your area. Recovery starts with a call. Contact 1-800-662-HELP today.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Weather sponsored by Wawa.
A wind advisory remains in effect through the day today. Wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour possible.
It stays dry with a mix of sun and clouds, high 53. Tonight, diminishing wind, partly cloudy, low 41. And for Tuesday, mostly sunny, breezy and milder, high 65.
Wawa's new built-to-order wraps are here. It's all the flavor you love, wrapped and ready to move with your day. Try an Italian or bacon ranch chicken steak wrap today. Gotta have a Wawa.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Dom Giordano show. Jump in, 855-839-1210. One little thing, I happen to see this for Reading, Writing, and Reason, but we might get somebody on this. Due to the lack of guidance counselors, a number of states have authorized the use of chaplains who will be headquartered at the high school, a chaplain there. More than a dozen states have come up with this, including Florida, Georgia, Nebraska, Utah, and Kansas. In some states' bills, parental consent isn't required. Well, I would require parental consent, but not a bad idea. In the wake of school shootings and everything else, chaplains. Now, they have to be screened like anybody else, but with a chaplain there, I would require parental consent. Be watching for that. I can't imagine in the Philadelphia area we're going to see a chaplain.
Is there like a designated religion for the chaplain, or is it just
any chaplain? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I didn't know if it was like a Catholic thing or if it was just
no. They can be any. I would have as many faiths that want to be in there, but I think you'd have to sign parental consent on that one. Versus the other stuff, the other that are under the more of the scrutiny of the school. All right, let's go to Rick in Delco. Hey, Rick, good afternoon.
Hey, Dom, how you doing?
Good.
Listen, I hadn't heard that. I heard about Mace, is that her name, in the interview, but I thank you for playing that because I'm on the phone listening. I hadn't heard that, and I agree with you. We do have some agreements that we agree on. She's all over the place. One time she hated Trump. Now she's in love with him, so I don't know. Just like Lindsey Graham. They all do about face for whatever reason. Whatever hole he has on them, he has it. Well, I kind of know what maybe Lindsey Graham's is, but that's another story. But I just want to say something about Trump taking Pennsylvania. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
What are you based? Wait a minute. He did win.
I don't think that'll happen.
Wait a minute.
You know why it won't happen?
Why is that?
Because he talks that dictator stuff. He wants to be an autocrat. Most people in this country don't want that.
Well,
so if people, and that's all right, if people want that, then go to those
let me ask
countries where they are.
Do you think his actions in the first term, 2016, 2017, 2021, were they a dictatorship?
He didn't know how to do it. He knows how to do it now. He did. Yeah. Oh, he had it. He had it in him, but he didn't know how to implement it. And seeing how he thinks he's going to get across, he got all these people in line. See, if he's telegraphing what he's going to do, keep his mouth shut. That's why he's in so much trouble. That's why he's in trouble. Keep your mouth shut. So that's what you're going to do.
He's a dumb
dictator. Get in there and do it.
He's a dumb dictator.
Well, I'm not going to call him dumb. I mean, he seems a little whack, though. I don't know what's wrong with him. I mean, you're not a dumb person. You listen at him. You see him up there mumbling and jumbling around. You see him. I mean, come on. And with the orange hair. I mean, but that's beside the point. The point is he's not going to win Pennsylvania. He's not going to get elected because he's probably going to jail before that happens. And plus, I'm an independent. Independents, Democrats, and a whole lot of Republicans.
So, Rick, I'm sorry to interrupt. Let me ask you then, who do you favor then? It's a binary choice now, right?
I like Biden. I'm going to tell you, I'm voting for Biden. My whole family
But
is.
all right, you just gave us a rundown of the negatives of Trump. Okay, what are the negatives of Biden?
Biden is, I mean, he's old. He admits it. I'm old. I'm 80 years old. So, I mean, he's old, but his mind is working.
Well, wait a minute. No, Rick,
done.
Your mind is definitely working. Joe Biden's mind couldn't keep up with the last 2 minutes of what you've done. Come on, Rick.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, his mind is working. But look at all the things he's done. I mean, I know you laugh. It's a joke, but I'm telling you, we independents, Democrats, black people, white
Rick,
people,
I'm not putting you on the
Native
spot.
Americans.
But wait a minute, though. Can you name some of those things? All that I've seen him do is spend money, trillions and trillions of dollars.
He's doing things, the infrastructure, the jobs. Come on, stop. You know. And I understand you got a talk show. You can't. You're on a conservative side, so you can't just bash him like that. I understand that.
Do you do the shopping in your family? Because I do it with Ro and my family. Do you do the food shopping?
Yes.
What's your opinion of that, Rick?
Prices up all over the world when it comes to food. You can't blame it. You can't blame it on Biden. That's right.
Rick.
But like I said, just keep that in mind.
I will. But
most people don't want a dictatorship. Now you may want it. That's fine.
No, I don't, Rick. But call us again, Rick. Call us again. You got the stuff that Joe Biden does not. Hey, by the way, Dan, I didn't ask you since you are DJ last night. Oh, this is a DJ. Dan said, I don't think it's so hard to get these wrestlers on. They're all coming here. They want to be on. The Undertaker and all the rest. I said, I'll relay that to Dan. He's in charge.
Tell DJ to start voting.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's what I said right away. Okay, DJ, we'll have a contest. $50 a book, and then you know what I'll do? I'll take to the mattresses, and then I have 20 of them. DJ, how many have you gotten? But John Cena last night.
Oh yeah.
Was he really new?
No, he wasn't.
He was not. How do you know that?
He had I can't say the word, a sea sock on.
Okay. Yeah.
He was wearing a sock over it essentially.
Okay.
So a man thong, wrap around, but yeah, he had a bit with Jimmy yesterday about a streaker, and then he came out holding a envelope over his parts, and
some people said this was degrading to wrestlers and the whole thing and all.
I mean, I don't think so. No, it's not degrading towards wrestlers because right after John Cena comes out naked, The Rock comes out very, professionally, and he actually glances over at John, who's now half naked, wearing some kind of dress, and says something on his way out to the stage. But I don't think it was a negative on The Rock. I thought it was a funny bit. It's just.
It was funnier with David Niven.
I think it was probably the only funny thing that got me and Maisie laughing last night.
Yeah, I would agree. And the speeches were not overwhelming. I mean, if you're going to go up there, you're an actor and all. Be together. Know who you're going to thank. Maybe have a palm card or something if you have to.
Yeah.
But Al Pacino, oh my God. Woo, brutal.
My favorite part was there was a documentary of John and Yoko, a cartoon that was made, a short. And Sean Ono Lennon was up there, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna let this guy talk. We're gonna let this guy talk." They didn't give him any time to talk until the music was already playing, and all he wanted to do was wish his mother a happy Mother's Day, being Yoko Ono. But it was just a very awkward moment.
It's got to be a tough life, I'm telling you.
You think so?
Oh, Yoko Ono as the mom, and John Lennon as the father. Oh my goodness, not good. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Tell us your response to Rick. A new character here. We're always looking for characters. Dan, heaven knows if he gets on the side question, that guy, Rick. First time I remember hearing it. But he thinks Joe Biden's cogent, He's able. No, could Joe Biden do what he just did? Just look in the mirror. All right, 855-839-1210. Good time to remind you about Italia, my favorite destination in the world. That's Italy. And it's always called the grand event for good reason. Think about it. Rome, Tuscany, Florence, Orvieto, Siena, Venice, Milan, the northern Italian lakes region. I tell you, very underrated, that last bit. 12 days of touring, the kind of dining events that are spectacular by Conservative Tours. Ken Chase, they're the people that arrange all these tours. We're just back with them from the Tour de Venice. $53.71, all that you get, that 12 days, and that includes your airfare. The Colosseum, the Vatican, Trevi Fountain, Piazza Navona, fully escorted by the Conservative Tours team in Italy, Lorenzo, Romina, and Giuseppe. Call them toll-free to get more information, 888-733-9494, or go to conservativetours.com. Tuscany beckons. It's time to answer Florence, the history, the beauty. San Gimignano, bustling Siena. Then it's on to the grand finale that you'll love. Venice, Milan, the pristine resort of Stresa on Lake Maggiore, Bellagio. All this fall in Italy. Go to conservativetours.com.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
The National Guard won't police SEPTA after shootings, so says the governor, Josh Shapiro. He wasn't considering such drastic action. While Parker was non-committal Thursday morning about seeking assistance, Shapiro was clear. He's still not considering it. I think it will ultimately be necessary for Shapiro to deploy the National Guard in subways. Maybe they can track areas of the neighborhoods in the cities seem to have a higher rate of crime.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Okay, gentlemen, listen up. Are you in need of that added spark in the bedroom? Could you use a jump start without turning back the hands of time? If so, I've got the answer for you. BlueChew.com, promo code 1210 for your first month free. That's right, BlueChew.com. Use the promo code 1210 for the first month free for a free male enhancement. The great people at Blue Chew offer a unique, one-of-a-kind online service that delivers men the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable tablet at a much cheaper price. That's right, free. Just pay $5 for shipping when you use the promo code 1210 at BlueChew.com for your first month free. And now Blue Chew comes in a mint-flavored chewable with the same active ingredient as Levitra. Stay fresh with Blue Chew. Confidence plus performance comes standard with Blue Chew. No embarrassing conversation, no pharmacies, right to your door in discreet fashion. BlueChew.com. Promo code 1210 for your first month free.
By now, you've heard all of our ads. America's largest injury law firm. It means that when you hire us, you get a legal army. When it comes to law, size matters. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Don't miss Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor, Saturday afternoons at 5. Tune in for accurate information so you can make the right medical decisions. Your radio doctor, Dr. Marianne Ritchie, Saturday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
They say money doesn't grow on trees, but at First Harvest Credit Union, we can help you grow your financial future with our growth savings account. You can earn as high as 3.5% annual percentage yield while enjoying flexible access to your funds. Visit firstharvestcu.com or your nearest branch to get details and open a growth savings account and watch your money grow. First Harvest Credit Union, serving the Delaware Valley for over 84 years. Membership restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
I'm Benjamin F. Chavis Jr. with the good news brought to you by BetterHelp. Music is the universal language. John Roger Stevens, also known as John Legend, continues to sing and make recording industry history. The good news is that John Legend gives back to underserved communities across America and throughout the world. Success is also measured by what you do for others.
What's the first thing you'll do if you have more time in the day? Nap, read, talk with a friend? Knowing what's important to you is easy to fit it into your schedule. Therapy can help you figure that out. BetterHelp offers affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Visit BetterHelp, HELP.com/good news to get 10% off of your first month. That's the good news. I'm Benjamin F. Chavis Jr. on the USBC Network, brought to you by BetterHelp.
Hey, Paoli. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Oh, my love goodbye. You're swinging low across that county line.
All right, Dom Giordano show. Dan, it's rare, the number of people that want to respond to Rick. Let's go to one of them. Let's go to Beth in Cape May on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Beth, good Monday.
Good Monday. Yeah, I was surprised you didn't challenge him a little bit more on that dictatorship. I mean, I don't know where these people find this material, but there's no evidence of it. It just doesn't make any sense. And it's just like listening to Rachel Maddow, who said that once he's elected, he's never going to leave the White House. Like, where do you come up with this stuff? And why do people actually believe it? It's ridiculous.
Well, thank you, Beth. Thanks for that response. Let's go to, Let's go to Drew in Upper Darby. Drew, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Drew.
Hey, Dom. How you doing? Thanks for taking my call. I do agree with Beth. I think you should have pushed back a little bit more, but hey, you know what you're doing. I'd like about the George Stephanopoulos story. You know, when George found out that she was raped, if he would have just said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know," and just moved on, there wouldn't be an issue. But he pressed it. He pressed on.
Well, I think he knew that. You're saying that this was not public knowledge. I thought it was at a certain point. And that's why
I wouldn't. Yeah.
That's why he wanted her on, Drew, because he was going to use that. That's exactly the point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm sorry then, because I thought he was totally caught off guard that when she said that.
Oh,
And,
no. That's why that's why they invited her more than anybody else, because they're making the point. You've been through this, then how can you endorse a rapist? And again, they wouldn't do this with a woman on the left. They know it's a sensitive area. You just don't do that.
Sorry about my inaccuracy, but my side question.
Yes.
You know, my wife and I were watching an episode of The Golden Girls, and we're watching Sophia doing one of her talking about when she's in Sicily days, 1912, and she comes up with it. She was one vote away from being the next Mama Celeste. So that's my.
Well, how about Mama? What is the local? Why am I the sausages? Dan, help me.
Yeah, I know. Yes. Well, Mama Celeste, it's an Italian thing. You know?
Oh no, I know. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a very good one. Yeah, Mama Celeste, Chef Boyardee. But damn, why am I blanking on
a local sausage guy?
The sausages and meats and Mama. Oh,
I don't know. It's killing me too.
Oh, I met her once. She was at an event, this big rally and all. Oh my God, Dietz. Dietz and Watson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mama Dietz.
Yeah, exactly. She's a real person, so it wouldn't be
Ruth Mama Dietz.
Yes, it would not be a food mascot.
No, she's 98.
Yeah. Oh,
99.
boy. All right, so let's play this, and then we'll tell Wally Zim Along about it. Our attorney, Wally Zim Along's coming up. Here is Letitia James, who just ran on a platform, I'll Get Donald Trump, the architect of the stunning various cases where President Trump has had to put up, sorry, Jimmy Matthews, has had to put up substantial amounts of bonding. Here's what happened when she got introduced at a promotional ceremony for New York firefighters.
Oh, come on. We're in a house of God. First, simmer down. I want to thank Commissioner Kavanaugh and Chief Hodgins for that recognition.
Yeah. I mean, you're coming in there and their type of thing. Now, I don't believe in shouting down speakers. I mean, she still had the microphone. She still was over that. But can you punish those firefighters? The woman who heads up the firefighters in New York, Dan, is said to be beyond vicious. And she said, come forward, take your penalty, or I'm going to hunt you down. She's going to figure out who's yelling Trump, Trump, Trump. Wally Zim Along is next. And he is the brilliant guy. Think of the police over in Springfield Township with the thin blue line, with freedom of speech. Can she actually hunt these people down for chanting Trump, Trump, Trump when Letitia James stood up to speak? All right, that's next here on Talk Radio 1210.
I'm a fireball.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month, a savings of nearly $300 a year.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-637-9116. That's 1-800-637-9116. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-637-9116. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Hi, everyone. Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy two, get two free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing, though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show at St. Matt's in Conshohocken, Saturday, April 6th, supporting Plymouth White Marsh High School baseball. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com! Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Welcome in. Good Monday. Coming up, our guy, Zim Along. You've heard the cases over the years. He's been involved in a lot of them, First Amendment, a lot of them, cops, things of that nature. He's now offered pro bono, big legal outfit too, the Stephen Miller America Legal Foundation, to defend any of these firefighters who are punished because they chanted Trump, 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 etc., with Letitia James trying to take another victory lap after the shenanigans that she's been involved in New York in a couple of big cases, with more on the docket. By the way, over the weekend, we saw this, and we're trying to get one of the principals on to talk about this. We saw this apparently, at this point, suppressed evidence by Liz Cheney, of all people, of course, from the January 6th committee, that pushed aside documentation that President Trump pushed for 10,000 National Guard troops to protect the nation's capital. A previously hidden transcript obtained by the Federalist apparently shows this. Cheney and her committee claimed there had no evidence to support Trump officials' claims they had communicated its desire for 10,000 National Guard troops, this vis-a-vis through the mayor. And this is a big bone of contention because, you saw it in the State of the Union. President Biden, the Democrats, in this election, they are making two things abundantly apparent. Abortion and January 6th / dictatorship. That's where we're going. Those are the two cards. That's all that they have to play. What else could they play? So as that continues, this new information, as it gets out there, now, again, the media will probably dismiss this, but there's documentation of the request for 10,000 National Guard troops, knowing that there was going to be a big, who knew, over 100,000 people there for President Trump. Molly Hemingway, writing at the Federalist, lays it out, and we'll continue to talk about it. All right, Zim Along, over the years, has just been such indispensable for case after case Happened to see him tweet out over the weekend. We played you the sound of these firefighters. Here they are. Booing, and then...
Oh, come on. We're in a house of God. First, simmer down. I want to thank Commissioner Kavanaugh and Chief Hodgins for that recognition.
All right, and the recognition of President Trump. Let's go to Wally on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Wally, welcome in. Good to see you might be on this case. What can you tell us about it? How does it appear to be to you? Because the head of the firefighters has actually used language that will hunt you down if you don't come forward.
Well, as always, thanks for having me on, Dom. Well, before I start to give you sort of a substantive legal analysis, I think this just shows the double standard of the law and of rules when they apply to anything that is related to Donald Trump. You talked a little bit about it in the intro, even leading up to it with the January 6th type thing. I mean, the only reason whoever was there at that rally is in hot water is because they chanted Trump, Trump, Trump. If they had chanted anything else, this would not even be a news story. If another person besides Letitia James was up there, someone on the right was speaking to the firefighters, and folks in the crowd were chanting something in favor of Joe Biden or some other progressive cause, there would never be there would be nothing heard about this. Or if the head of the firefighters said they'd go hunt down the people that were chanting, then all heck would break loose, and we'd hear about how this is an egregious First Amendment violation, which it is. So the first thing we need to understand is that viewpoint discrimination, and I've been on your program before talking about this, viewpoint discrimination is per se a violation of the First Amendment. And what I mean by that is you can't pick and choose what speech is acceptable and what speech is unacceptable based upon what you say. So if you're going to condemn someone for appearing at a rally or an event with the Attorney General of New York because they chanted Trump, 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 that's a per se violation of the First Amendment. Everybody knows that. And that's what this appears to be. Now, when it comes to government employee speech, there can be nuances to the regulation of that speech. Now, I've heard that some folks here were not in uniform, some were just private citizens. And certainly there can be certain regulations on government employee speech, but it always has to be content neutral. You can't just pick and choose again that you're going to condemn speech that supports President Trump, but permit speech that supports some other sort of cause. And
how would you defend that, though? You have to go back and find instances of where they didn't do anything.
Right. And typically that's not that difficult to find.
Okay.
In discovery and whatnot, that where, especially now with things being, everything being recorded, you can find other instances. Or you have to look at the policy and see how it's been applied. And if there's a policy out there that says, look, when there's an event and you're there in uniform, you can't exhibit any political behavior, right? You can't speak out one way or the other. Now, something like that is fine, and we have to see, but we would have to see if that is what the folks at the FDNY leadership are talking about. However, I doubt it that they're saying they're running afoul of the regulation, that it would be a facially neutral regulation, because of the language they've used. They're going to hunt them down. Well, why are they going to hunt them down? Because they were unruly at an event involving the Attorney General, or they were chanting in favor of Donald Trump. It's undoubtedly the latter. I think dealing with these progressive government entities and these cities and municipalities, that's always the case. They have a particular viewpoint. They do not care about the First Amendment. And when you run afoul of their particular viewpoint, they will go after you. So, I mean, even Alan Dershowitz has said this is particularly troublesome. The chilling effect, the language that they were used, come forward or else. Well, why? Why come forward or else? They exercise their First Amendment right. It's clearly protected by the First Amendment. The shouting of Trump is. Now, if there's some content neutral regulation that they ran afoul of, that's something different. But certainly the language that's being used by FDNY leadership does not suggest that they ran afoul of some some neutral regulation that the fire department agreed to, the decorum or something like that. It certainly doesn't indicate that. And I think it would be very easy to find other incidences where they tolerated similar behavior, or even just tolerated behavior. What do they allow? I would ask, what do they allow these firefighters to wear on their uniforms? Do they tolerate political symbolism on their uniforms? Well, if they do, even if there's a regulation against it, that would indicate that the reason these folks are being called to task is because they supported Donald Trump.
What if this were, here I would draw the line, maybe there's a chain of command. If this were the head of the firefighters up there during a promotion thing, you know, their leader, and they're chanting or shouting down and you might say that's insubordination. You might. But with somebody like this, and while at least the tape I've heard, it doesn't rise to the level that the speaker couldn't continue. That's kind of another thing I look at, that it's so boorish and all that the person just literally can't speak. This is like a counter going on. She's got the microphone. She's clearly being heard.
You're absolutely right. You know, in the type of conduct that you described, the people would not be punished for what they're saying, is they'd be punished for what they're doing, drowning out the speaker. They're clearly disrupting the event. That crosses the line, and that is not based upon what they say. It's based upon what they're doing. If someone got up and used a bullhorn and went into her face and drowned her out, or insubordination, we're not talking about that here. And there's no suggestion that that's what's going on. You know, they just look at the language that's being used by those in FDNY leadership. We're going to hunt them down. We'll hunt them down for what? It's because they shouted Trump. And look, everybody knows that. I mean, they're not fooling anybody. It goes back to what Bill O'Reilly used to say, is that you can't fool the folks. Who are they kidding? Everybody knows why these folks are in trouble. So I listen, I'm not involved yet. I'd love to be involved. I'd love to help these folks out, because I think it's a winner. I do. I think
they're gonna need it here, because, you know, I don't think they're fooling around. I've been reading about the head of the firefighters there. Yeah, this is that language of hunting down is going to happen. And Wally, you have a whole other niche here, though, of all these police and fire unions where the First Amendment is involved, the Springfield Township, but I know you've been involved in others. And I think this is going to continue, because you have a progressive hierarchy, even those that are heading the police or fire. And then you have the rank and file who bristle at some of this stuff because it's not kept out of the day-to-day. In other words, on a day-to-day, the progressive mindset has to be catered to, even though it has nothing to do or little to do with policing or firefighting.
Correct. I mean, clearly there's a divergence in political perspectives between those that head these departments, those in the government and administration of these departments, and the rank and file union members. The rank and file union members in police and fire, and I would even say in the building trades, tend to be more on the right, tend to be supportive of Donald Trump, or at least Donald Trump policies, with, you know, quote unquote MAGA policies. You see that, which cuts across demographics too, black, white, Latino. They tend to support these right-leaning causes in the rank and file membership. Then you have the folks that are put in charge of them. And, you know, it's sort of a recent vintage where these folks are antagonistic to the political viewpoints of the rank and file members. It used to be that their viewpoints are rather homogenous, but now you don't, because we've placed these progressive ideologues at the head of these unions and at the head of these government agencies, who are now antagonistic to the viewpoints of their members. Yeah, so I think we're going to have more and more of these types of situations arise.
Right. Clearly, you know, I see these cops and firefighters, they go back generations in New York, maybe even the firefighters more. We saw it on 9/11. Their grandfather was in there, and the people in charge of them now are not coming up in the ranks that way. Wally, a little side question here. We really respect you as a great defender of the First Amendment. I do favor, though, banning TikTok in the United States, given the communist Chinese part. Well, the proposal is, if sold away from them, and it's clear that it happens, it can continue. Otherwise, I think it stands a reasonable chance to be banned. What do you say?
Well, if what we are told is true, TikTok, the medium, poses a significant national security threat because it's controlled by the Communist Chinese Party apparatus. And they're gathering not only reams of data on American citizens, elected officials, and others in sensitive high positions, but they're also promoting propaganda and using it as a propaganda mechanism. So I don't see, I can see how there is sort of First Amendment implications, but for something like this, where the government sees the issues that TikTok brings forward, the First Amendment is broad, but it's not absolute. And there are all sorts of times when the First Amendment has to yield to certain things. And national security interests could be one of those areas. And the fact that they're banning TikTok because of the data that's being collected by the Chinese Communist Party would be acceptable. And keep in mind, I think perhaps using the term banning TikTok is a bit misleading. From what I understand the legislation to be, is that it would divest the Communist Party of China's ownership and control of TikTok, and the ownership of the medium would be American owned. So TikTok would still exist as a medium. People can post videos on there and express themselves. It's just that the ownership of it would be controlled by an American company. That's what I understand the proposed legislation, although I think it's being promoted as a ban, and I think that is a little misleading.
Thank you, Wally. As always, I know a lot of election stuff will be coming up, and we'll be talking. I do hope these firefighters take you up on that if they're in trouble. Thanks, Wally, very much.
All right, thanks.
All right, you like this answer on TikTok. Yeah, except that I don't know that I trust this American company, Dan. And there's another part to it that I wanted to throw out. We're going to talk with Gordon Chang, expert on all things Communist China, at 1:30 on TikTok. The other part, Dan, and you could say, well, that's parenting. Is it just, social media dangers with kids. Mm-hmm. But these challenges, I don't see it on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever. Do you? Where you're to go, I just saw another kid died over the weekend, some other kind of challenge.
Yeah.
It may have been 10 or 12 years of age. Parenting is the only rampart against this, but this is an existential threat. And the Communist Chinese know it. And to your point, what do they show in China? They show videos of you better buckle down, study, hard work, and all that. What do they show here? Some nutty thing where you can die.
Yeah, Douyin in China, they show community service to kids.
Right.
And they actually did a study as to what kids want to be when they grow up in China because of the social media's algorithms feeding them, educational information. The number one answer was astronaut. Here, it's social media influence.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a subversive tactic being done by a evil government trying to divide a nation. I think if you look at it, it's clear. If you dissect what's going on with their algorithm, with this company, it's very, very clear that there is something nefarious at play here. So this whole idea of divesting it, turning it into an American company, you're right. How accurate is that going to be? But if there is accuracy, I'm not in favor of banning Facebook or Twitter, and those are American companies. And I think social media, I'm against social media as in general, but there is a place for it. When you have a Chinese government, communist government, that's where my line's drawn. And how can you ensure that this new company, this new American company, is not going to have any, ties to China or any, corruption going on? I don't know if you can.
That's the, 855-839-1210. Don't forget the side question, too. We're coming to your calls next. Then Gordon Chang at 1:30 on Talk Radio 1210.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT presents our 7th annual Radiothon to benefit the Travis Manion Foundation. Join us all day Friday, March 22nd. All money raised will go directly towards empowering veterans and families of the fallen to help find healing and unite communities through service. Listen for special guests and exclusive offers, all to help the Travis Manion Foundation. Friday, March 22nd, only on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the Odyssey app. Thanks to our sponsors, Emmons Roofing, Windows and Solar, emmonsroofing.com, Nick Coslin Lock Service, specializing in high-tech keys and remotes, locks, the letter N, keys.com, and Steam Fitters Local Union 420, serving the Philadelphia area since 1903. We do it right the first time.
If your child needs support, special tutoring, and custom instruction, METC is here to help. Now's the time to make the call to Kathy Ganna and METC. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages to grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Now's the time to get assistance for your child to help them succeed. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@METC.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200. That's 215-493-4200.
This is Jonathan Cans, third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Are you sick and tired of giant HVAC companies coming into your home and telling you about all the things that need to be fixed or replaced? You do realize that these clowns are just salespeople trying to hit a quota, right? Sales guys disguised in a service truck. Look, if you want an honest company that will fix what needs to be fixed and not try to sell you a bunch of things you don't want or need, then we're your people. Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit us at marvinecans.com. That's marvinekanze.com.
Most of us don't fit in the clothes we wore 30 years ago. And financial advice from 30 years ago doesn't fit either. Tune in to the Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen. Saturdays at 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause, brought to you by Advocacy United, this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that'll affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You've heard about the thousands of patients finally getting relief from chronic joint pain thanks to QC Kinetics non-invasive treatments. And here's one who was determined to avoid surgery. Meet Vicky.
The orthopedic surgeon said, well, you're going to need knee replacement sooner rather than later. I kept hearing commercials about QC Kinetics and thought, well, I'm going to check them out first.
QC Kinetics has treated over 20,000 patients like Vicky around the country. People who were told they needed surgery but chose a more natural, less invasive approach that uses regenerative treatments to help heal and restore painful joints with no downtime.
If QC Kinetics had not been what I expected, I would have gone through with the surgery, but I got so much relief, am now pretty much pain-free that I don't have to have the surgery.
Before going under the knife, you need to check out QC Kinetics. The consultation is free. Call today.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
Free speech lives here. With Dom Giordano, weekdays noon till 3. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
Ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country.
All right, that Dan dug up from our KGB files. Yeah, I like the way Wally Zim Along put it. It's not an actual band. They can sell it to an American company, even though I'm okay with saying the word ban, just for the record. Kellyanne Conway against this. Mark Levin going wild on that, and he's right. She's wrong. Rand Paul, who we deeply respect, sees First Amendment issues here. I don't. This is a menace. This is allowing them to just gradually diminish America. That's all that it's about. I mean, it's shocking. I get the complaints with Google and Facebook and everything else, but those are minuscule in comparison to how dangerous this is, how much information they're gathering on us. And we know that China doesn't fool around. Look at the Wuhan virus. All right, the Biden budget is just broken. 7.3 trillion more in new spending. Always this, I'm going to give it to so-called middle-class families, child tax credits, and I'm taking it away from so-called billionaires. Math doesn't add up, of course. We go again. It's the rich. Go after them. It's age old, but, this is the playbook. This is what Democrats are going to do. This is where they have to go. And Trump has been skillful in pushing back in this area. I know he was on CNBC this morning and said some things around Social Security. Dan, if you have a chance, not right now, but if you find them, I think what he's referring to, but again, you got to be precise. Trump has always been smart on Social Security, Medicare, things of that nature. He gets it. It is the third rail, okay? But he may have been talking about Social Security, SSI, things of that nature, where there's a lot of abuse. But that's making news. And the Joe Bidens of the world live to run out the clock on things like Social Security, suppressing the votes, just endlessly. They never tire of this, despite no evidence. Any hint that they get of that, that. That's what the tactic is. And they run out a few news cycles. Now, the spokesperson, Olivia, you have the Social Security. Okay. Let me just make this point. The spokesperson for Biden aboard Air Force One, Olivia Dalton, says that Biden did not apologize for calling Laken Riley's illegal alien killer an illegal. There's no apology anywhere in that conversation. My God, is this woman, you can't have, they're trying to have it three ways here. He did apologize. They don't like it. We're going after him on the apology. Well, he shouldn't have apologized then. He's the one that said illegal. He was absolutely right. He should have said, no, I stick by it. He did apologize. And the guy let him on. Say, you regret it? Yeah, I regret it. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. They built the country. That's an apology. Maybe not to George Costanza, step 9 in Seinfeld, but I think it's an apology. All right, here's President Trump on the Social Security issue.
$34 trillion total debt built up, and very little we can do in terms of cutting spending. Discretionary is not going to help. Have you changed your outlook on how to handle entitlements, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, Mr. President? It seems like something has to be done, or else we're going to be stuck at 120% of debt to GDP forever.
So first of all, there is a lot you can do in terms of entitlements, in terms of cutting, and in terms of also the theft and the bad management of entitlements, tremendous bad management of entitlements. There's tremendous amounts of things and numbers of things you can do. So I don't, necessarily agree with the statement.
Okay. So, again, got to be more precise on this. What I think he's talking about there around entitlements are things like SSI and related and the hundreds of other programs, not straightforward Social Security. Of course, though, all right, here's a little bit more.
Numbers of things you can do. So I don't, necessarily agree with the statement. I know that they're going to end up weakening Social Security because the country is weak. I mean, take a look at outside of the stock market, what we're going through hell. People are going through hell. They have, and I believe the number is 50%. They say 32 and 33%. I believe we have a cumulative inflation of over 50%. That means people are, they have to make more than 50% more over a fairly short period of time to stay up. They've gotten routed. The middle class in our country has been routed. And the middle class largely built our country. And they have been treated very, very badly with policy. When I was president, I was doing a job. We were going to start to pay off debt. We would drill, baby, drill. We were producing oil, but we were going at a much higher level, oil and gas. We were doing, we were third when I started.
All right, we got the point there. So, again, the only caution I put in is when you start calling entitlements and Social Security has been mentioned anywhere around there, they're going to pounce on that. Let's go to Tom in Burlington, Gordon Chang in the On Deck Circle. Hey, Tom, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, and don't try to sugarcoat it for him. He said cuts the Social Security, Medicare.
He did not. He talked about entitlements. He talked about entitlements. Look, Tom.
And then he said, and the abuses.
Okay, Tom.
Okay.
He has
You're
been
saying it all now.
okay. He
Listen
has.
to it again. He said
has.
there's cuts that we
Okay.
can make to Social Security and Medicare, and there's abuses that we can get rid of. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
He didn't say others,
is he
just
talking?
abuses.
Is he talking about straight up Social
He didn't
Security,
just
or is
say
he talking?
others, just abuses. No, he said there's cuts we can make to listen to it again, man. Play it
Okay.
again.
Well, Tom. All I
Right,
know
listen
is
to it for
okay.
yourself.
Tom.
Also, I want to ask. I want to ask another question.
Go ahead.
Remember the tax cuts that he gave to all these companies that they still have?
And the middle class. And the middle class is one of the greatest things any president has ever done.
These companies went out, okay, and they said, "Oh, let's give you $1,000 of." How many times did that happen? One time. That $1,000 has been going for 5 years now.
How about
okay?
your own income? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. All right, that's it. Look, I tried several times there. We're going to go back to the tax cuts. Be ready to be precise on that. It helped the average middle class American tremendously. It opened up America. All right? This idea that this is just playing into the hands of corporations. Of course, this is what Biden knows nothing better. The math doesn't add up. There may be 1,000 billionaires in the country. And if they're getting income, if they're actually getting income rather than things on investments or whatever, they're already paying. Well, I saw it today. Again, the top 1% of America paying about 46% plus, maybe 47 of the annual taxation rate. So this is going to be here again. Now, I don't think President Trump is precise here. You got to realize you're in a third rail situation. You cannot allow them to use this fodder. All right, Gordon Chang next. We'll talk TikTok here and what should be done about it. Nobody knows it better. Hey, FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, is putting the ball in your court for the rest of the NBA season. Because right now, new customers, you get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 if your bet wins. You can bet on the NBA with a wide range of bet types, including quick bets, live same-game parlays, player props, and a lot more. Visit FanDuel.com/Dom, D-O-M, and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of the NBA, and FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only, $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Comedian Joe Conklin.
Are you rehabbing injury?
I'm rehabbing the injury to get back this year. I am so especially disappointed because I just got a new meniscus for Christmas.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show at the Church of the Incarnation on Main Street in Mantua Township. Saturday, April 20th at St. Luke's Church on Easton Road in Glenside on Saturday, April 27th. And Conklin's Comedy Night every other Thursday at Parks Casino. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com. Weather sponsored by Apple Vacations.
A wind advisory remains in effect through the day today. Wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour possible. It stays dry with a mix of sun and clouds, high 53. Tonight, diminishing wind, partly cloudy, low 41. And for Tuesday, mostly sunny, breezy, and milder, high 65.
If you want to go on vacation without the hassle of planning a vacation, keep listening. Apple Vacations specializes in effortless vacation planning. It's like turning on easy mode. Book your vacation to Riu Hotels and Resorts on applevacations.com or call your travel advisor to get started today.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, the go-to person in all of talk radio, without a doubt, is Gordon Chang, author of The Coming Collapse of China, the Great U.S.-China Tech War, and the just-released China is Going to War. And you talk about softening up the battlefield, it would be TikTok. And evidence of how difficult it is to strike back. It was 50-0, so bipartisans who voted out of committee to move forward on voting on banning or at least telling China you have to sell this off or it will be banned to an American company. Let's go to Gordon Chang here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Gordon, good afternoon. Welcome in. And I guess at this point in time, are you optimistic? Are you happy about this? We have Kellyanne Conway, Rand Paul, some others still opposed to this.
Well, I'm happy that it got such broad support in committee in Congress. I hope that it gets through the House, hope it gets through the Senate, and President Biden said that he would sign the TikTok bill. Now, of course, Biden doesn't need a bill to do this. He can just use his emergency powers. He has the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977, for instance. This is the act that President Trump used in his last months to ban TikTok, WeChat, and other Chinese apps. So at least we're moving in the right direction. And I am a little bit dismayed that we have people, especially in the Republican Party, who aren't very happy about banning TikTok. But I think that we'll go forward.
Well, the first area, and then we'll talk about the geopolitical, Gordon, kind of meshing the two here. My background before doing this, I think was in education, teaching, et cetera. The softening up of America, the sheer number of kids doing nutty things constantly coming out of TikTok is amazing to me. I mean, it's proof positive of what they're up to, what this is about.
Yeah, there are about 170 million users who've downloaded the app on their devices in America. And they do some nutty things, as you say, funny dances. But I worry about some of the more sinister things that are being promoted on TikTok, like self-harm, suicide, illegal drug use. And of course, China propagates its narratives. So there's a lot of propaganda and disinformation. And it's not only supporting what China wants, but also Russia's war efforts in Ukraine. And because of that, I think that we see support for a lot of China's foreign policy initiatives that we ordinarily wouldn't see, but for apps like TikTok.
So a couple of things well, go ahead, Dan. You can.
Just to add on to Gordon, to bring it locally to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the trends we saw, Gordon, on TikTok was something called the Kia Boys, which essentially gave a step-by-step instruction as to how to hotwire a Kia or Hyundai vehicle and was a direct contributor to the crazy amount of auto theft we've seen here in Philadelphia. It's just a trend that spread around TikTok, showing kids how to do it, and they wanted to show their friends that they could do it just like they saw on TikTok.
Yes, and the curation algorithm of TikTok is really important. That's the algorithm that determines what your kids see and what they don't see. It is perhaps the most commercially sophisticated algorithm of its type in the world, and China uses it to promote certain behaviors. And I guess stealing Kias in the Philadelphia area is one of them. And we got to realize that they're trying to destroy American society. And so I find it very distressing that we have people actually in both parties who have been resistant to a ban of TikTok, or at least a forced sale to an American party. And we also got to do more than just force a sale. That only solves the issue of data theft. The other issue is the algorithm, and we got to make sure that whoever owns TikTok in the U.S. also gets control of the algorithm.
Well, how does this work then? How does China get these influencers that make videos, come up with suggestions? Are these people just out there and then, Gordon, they pluck them? Are they in conspiracy with them? Do they have with the influencers that would have kids doing things that are diminishing at best?
Yeah, I suspect that China does have some direct contact with some influencers. But they don't need to. All they need to do is to take a trend that they like. So, for instance, promotion of self-harm. And they boosted the signal, as they say, through TikTok so that it gets distributed widely on that platform. So they don't need to actually have a direct link with an influencer. All they have to do is take a trend that they promote and actually just use the algorithm.
Gordon, a lot of people college age, and this is the thing. Look, younger kids, or I don't know who the audience would be, but you would think at the college level, they wouldn't be getting so much information from TikTok. I'm talking about Gaza and some of the anti-Semitism coming toward Jews in Israel. And a lot of that seems to be because they get their information through TikTok.
Yes, and it is distressing that someone who's reached college would be influenced by that. But we're humans, and even with education, or maybe because of education, we are susceptible to all sorts of narratives on platforms like this. We just got to recognize that harm, and we got to recognize the national security threat and do something about it. And it doesn't help that President Biden's reelection campaign, Biden HQ, actually joined the platform and during the Super Bowl, promoted a video. So really, we've got a very, very important problem that starts at the top.
Geopolitically, well, Gordon, let's talk about your new book here. This is just out. China is going to war. How imminent is that? We know they take the long view. What's your sense of that? And would that mean Taiwan? Is that what you're getting to?
Could be Taiwan, but it could be the Philippines, Tom.
The Philippines.
On
Wow.
March 5, the State Department actually issued a warning that the United States was prepared to use force against China to discharge our obligations under Article 4 of our Mutual Defense Treaty with the Philippines, because China has been engaged in some very belligerent activity at Second Thomas Shoal in the South China Sea. So it could be Taiwan, or it could be the Philippines, could be Japan, could be India. And we know of its activities against countries like Bhutan, and of course the dangerous air and naval intercepts in international airspace and water. So it could be anything, but we see a regime that it talks about war all the time, that is fast preparing for it. And we have to ask ourselves just one question. How many times in history has a militant regime that is fast prepared for war not started one?
I would ask you, because you're the guy for me, Gordon, what is our leverage over them? I mean, sometimes I hear politicians to cheer the American public up. Biden's one of them, say, I don't listen to any of that. They're yesterday's news versus us. I don't believe that. I see how dangerous they are. But what leverage do we have?
We have leverage over, for instance, their exports. Right now, the Chinese economy is in really bad shape. And basically what they've done is they've abandoned a core sector, property. They did that a couple days ago. Their only way out is to export goods to the rest of the world. Well, they need our market more than they have ever, and we could deny it to them. And I think that we need to do that, because we should not be enriching a regime that uses the proceeds of trade and investment to build up a military which is configured to kill Americans. It's just as simple as that. It is morally wrong. It is strategically wrong. And history is going to look at us and say, why the hell did you ever think it was a good idea to build up the Chinese military? And I think that we're going to be held like the British and the French in the late 1930s, who could have stopped World War II in Europe from ever starting, but chose to take the easy path, which led to that horrible conflict on the continent.
Challenge to that, I guess, would say, Gordon, we better start now, though, to take ourselves out of the things that we're dependent on China for if we're going to go forward with that.
Yes. And there's really one area where we are very dependent, and that is pharmaceuticals and active pharmaceutical ingredients. It's not as bad as it would seem, because while we got to buy, Chinese enterprises have got to sell. And we will get pharmaceuticals, or APIs as they're called, one way or another. But we should have the pharmaceutical industry making goods, making APIs in the United States, so that we're not dependent on a hostile regime, which, by the way, has threatened to cut off the pharmaceuticals to us. They did that in March 2020, for instance, during the depth of the coronavirus pandemic.
Yes, absolutely. Gordon, thank you so much. It's always such a pleasure to really get insight on this. The current book, China is Going to War. Is there a website? I'm sure it's available in any bookstore or online, Amazon, etc.
Yeah, and also people can follow me on X, formerly Twitter, at Gordon G. Chang.
Thank you, Gordon. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, Gordon Chang here. And again, it's not just the geopolitical, it's the insidious nature. The thing that tells you what an enemy China is, I go back to it, Dan, all the time, because I think it's a little bit different. When Daryl Morey, the current president of Sixers, just put free Hong Kong out there on some email he sent out, they stop the NBA in their tracks. Just over something like that. It gives you an idea of how driven they are, how insidious they are, and how widespread this nonsense is. And the movement of TikTok away from the Communist Chinese Party is more than called for. And I just think Kellyanne Conway and others, and I get Rand's point, but you know what? It's not being banned. An American company would run it, even though I have a lot of distrust in that. It's insidious beyond belief. This is what they do. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210, a little bit of Dan time with Dom. I see one here that might be a winner. Today is National Cereal Day. All-time food mascots. That's our side question. Hey, I've told you over the years about my great dentist, friend and prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz of the Bentz Dental Group. And recently I saw Dr. Bentz and the staff, my latest dental appointment. The staff is second to none. You get a positive feeling as soon as you come in. And this hygienist, Maria, Dan, you know how I am. Ro and I are in a contest. Did you floss today this way, or did you do it right? I don't know how many points I could give you. I'm not going to let her run. She's Miss Sweet and Light. That's all you see. You don't see behind the scenes how insidious it is. It's almost like TikTok there. Well, Maria, the hygienist, very, very gentle cleaning, but a taskmaster. Give me 7 tips to start making the most of my dental routine. May have suggested, Dan, during breaks, using Listerine. Not for bad breath, but just killing germs in there, stuff like that. And if it's been a while since your last visit, no judgment for anyone. You can tell Dr. Bob and Dr. Sarah, his wife, they set the tone for everyone. From Laura, the new office manager, Nancy, Madison, Shelby, too. And they will help you get that beautiful smile you've always wanted. Visit thebentzdentalgroup.com or call for that appointment today. This is world-class dentistry. 610-272-6949. Thebentzdentalgroup.com or 610-272-6949.
To all of my male listeners, pay attention. Is Father Time catching up with you when it pertains to your adult relations behind closed doors? It's okay. It happens to all of us. But not everybody provides you the solution at a financially feasible rate. That is, of course, until now. Kale and Company listeners, special offer just for you. BlueChew.com, promo code 1210 for your first month free. That's right, BlueChew.com. Use the promo code 1210 for your first month free. The great people at Blue Chew offer a unique, one-of-a-kind online service that delivers men the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable tablet at a much cheaper price. That's right, free. Just pay $5 for shipping when you use the promo code 1210 at BlueChew.com for your first month free. Confidence plus performance, no embarrassing conversations, no pharmacies, right to your door. BlueChew.com, promo code 1210. Stay fresh with Blue Chew, made in the USA.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, Audubon. Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
WPHT.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's Dan time
I can handle things. I'm smart, not like everybody says.
with Dom.
That's right. It's that time of the afternoon. Producer Dan takes over the Dom Giordano program for some Dan Time with Dom, and I watched it so you didn't have to. You can always count on that the next day here on the Dom Show when there's a crappy event nationally televised, some horrible award show, because my wife loves them, so I'm watching them anyway. But Dom, last night was the Oscars, and the big winner of the night, Oppenheimer, 13 nominations, winning awards in Best Director, Best Actor for Cillian Murphy, Best Picture, Barbenheimer, the other half, Barbie, only winning 1 award for Best Song. But man, I don't know if you saw that performance by Billie Eilish of What Was I Made For? Beautiful, beautiful performance.
Well, I'm only glad they got one. That's about what it deserves.
I was sad to see that the holdovers, it seemed like they were going to have a good night. First award out of the gate was for Best Supporting Actress, Dom, and it was a win. It was a win for Divine Joy Randolph here in Philadelphia, but not much for the holdovers after that.
I just defy anybody to see Paul Giamatti. And again, the material, I think it's almost got to be a great film when you have these kids having to stay over Christmas holidays because their family doesn't want them in one way or another at these fancy private schools.
Yeah.
And a professor who's a misanthrope thrown into it. And Giamatti, it's just a great fodder.
It's a really good film. If you haven't seen it, go check out The Holdovers. It's available on Peacock. We've been talking about it a while. But one of your all-time favorite actors, because of The Godfather, I would assume, Al Pacino, man, coming out to give that Best Picture award at the end.
Oh, God.
And just essentially saying, I see here on the paper, it's Oppenheimer. And
no, he said, my eyes are seeing Oppenheimer. It's like, you got to say the other 10 films, all the 10 films. I mean, my God.
Yeah. I did have
By the way, 10 films is too many, Dan. This is like a participation trophy.
Yeah.
There's never a year where 10 films should be up. 5.
Picture. And I have to go to the envelope for that. And I will.
Oh, my God.
Here it comes. And my eyes see Oppenheimer.
Doesn't announce it. It was like, well, what the heck is this, Steve Harvey?
It's so awkward.
Oh, my. The guy's one of the best actors of the last generation. Yeah.
In other news, Dom, some developments in this upcoming fight between, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
Yes.
Been getting some criticism because it came out that they're going to be wearing headgear and sparring gloves during the fight. It's not going to be actual boxing gloves without the headgear. Now, do you think we should discredit Jake Paul for wanting to wear headgear and using sparring gloves against?
Well,
I
think
still Mike Tyson. I mean,
right. He ought to be put in an insane asylum, given the fact that he wants to fight Mike Tyson. I don't care what his age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even for the money that this is going to draw, you wouldn't do it?
I've interviewed Mike Tyson. He wasn't in front of me, and he was brilliant in the interview, but I felt like, oh, man, don't say anything wrong here. My God.
If you got college-aged kids, I'm going to put this out there. There are new warnings. I just came back from Cancun last week, and Dom, on the beach, there were, armed national security or National Guard members, and, they had the masks on with the big rifles. But allegedly, spring break has never been so dangerous as students face massacre from warring cartels. Robert Almonte, a former U.S. federal marshal, now warning to stay away from Mexico as we gear up for spring break. I really enjoyed it, man, but I got to say, there were times I felt unsafe, but talking to drivers out there, in 20 years that the driver's been doing it, he's never been stopped by a cartel, stop, or they really say once you go out to the Mayan, ruins, that's when you start running into the cartel stops and all that. Would you travel down to Mexico if you had the opportunity?
I did the one thing just over the border with the mayor of Juarez. It was, I remember the then program director saying, well, you're kind of on your own here. CBS, we were CBS then, doesn't allow me to go with you.
I'll offer you a big pro tip for you and Ro. Go to an all-inclusive near Cancun. I mean, Riviera Maya or One of those Playa Mujeres is where we went. If you go to an all-inclusive, you don't have to worry about leaving the resort. The only scary part, I guess, would be driving from the airport to the resort itself.
Or if they want to overrun the resort.
Super cheap right now.
And take hostages or something, you know.
And also, soldiers and civilians are dying as Mexican cartels embrace a new weapon, landmines.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
so you got to worry about that.
Yeah, all
too,
right, there you go.
Dom, but also a little conspiracy theory going on out of the UK with the royal family, Kate Middleton.
Yeah.
Any suggestions as to what's going on? Do you believe their story that she had abdominal surgery and she's just not going to be seen in the public eye till after Easter?
I think it's something like that. Yeah. And I don't understand the fixation on the royal family. I really don't.
You
There
don't?
are people that go gaga.
No, even after everything that's happened with the transition of power, for once, I actually find it somewhat interesting to follow along.
If Meghan Markle's going to be part of it, why am I interested?
That's true. It's true.
I mean, the husband is reprehensible.
You don't think Kate Middleton's running away from the family?
No.
Yeah? Are they're hiding that she's there's something wrong? Or?
No.
There's a lot of conspiracies, man.
I know. She may have had surgery, whatever.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, that's one of the conspiracies is that she had a Brazilian butt lift, the BBL, which takes a long time to recover from.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
The rags over in Britain are pretty intense.
Oh yeah. Well, if
we
Queen
know that.
Elizabeth were around, God only knows what that. Can you imagine Queen Elizabeth having to have a conversation with Meghan Markle or Brazilian butt lifts? Oh my God. Get me some tea.
That's all I got for Dan time.
And her son is Bonnie Prince Charles. Oh goodness.
Oh,
All right.
Kate did post a photo, Dom, on her
Yeah.
Instagram recently, but it's heavily doctored and photoshopped. And now questions are swirling about this new photo she posted. So it just grows from here.
All right. 855-839-1210. Our guy coming up, Scott Presler with us because over the weekend, Laura Trump and Mr. I forget his first name, Walters from North Carolina, now are in charge of the RNC and saying things like Laura Trump said on the show, Presler is going to be our guy and some others activists out there. He's back from several things. And the newest controversy, Politico today, 10 pages on raw milk. Now, one of the biggest things with the left, and it has been for years, is telling people what they can't eat in one way or another, sometimes by law. Raw milk now is the battleground. Scott Presler is involved in that. And I just have so much hope, given Laura Trump there, of what's going to happen next. 855-839-1210. You can get in right now here with Dom. Dom's Money Melody 2 coming up on Talk Radio 1210.
Countless financial firms have promised the security and peace of mind that comes only with a crash-proof retirement, but those imitators never last. No other firm has access to the tried and true proprietary crash-proof retirement system that has proven to provide market-like returns credited as interest with no market risk or fees to over 5,000 clients through all economic conditions.
Janice Barbero. I'm from Fogelsville, Pennsylvania. With Crash Proof, we don't have to worry about making up any money that we've lost. So if the market goes down in 2024, we don't worry. We know our initial investment's still there. And that interest that we made the year before, that never goes away. I do think Crash Proof Retirement's original. They're the real deal. I don't think anybody else could give that kind of service.
Register for our next event at Spring Mill Manor, March 19th, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hi, Stephanie from Emmons. Are you not loving your bathroom? Is the King's Throne looking a little outdated and run down? Let Emmons Design Specialists design a bathroom that you will love and one that Emmons will redo in as little as 1 day. An affordable, maintenance-free bathroom with little to no inconvenience to you and your family. With finance options available, there's really only one problem. Your bathroom will be so nice, your king may never want to come out. Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit us on our website at callemmons.com.
Hey, neighbor, what you doing?
Just getting the groundwork done to put up my new fence.
Oh, cool. Did you contact Pennsylvania One Call System to check the underground utilities first?
Nah, there's nothing but dirt back here. Oh, no.
Whoa, I think that's a water main. Yeah, well, you said you always wanted a pool. All joking aside, you should call Pennsylvania One Call.
You're right. I'm going to call Pennsylvania One Call. But first, cannonball!
Know what's below. Contact 811 before you dig or visit pa1call.org to submit a locate request to have underground utilities marked.
Gerhardt's Luxury for Less sale is going on now, and there's never been a better time to elevate your kitchen with Monogram appliances. Introducing the new, reimagined, reinvented, and award-winning Monogram range. Discover the redefined world of luxury, one detail at a time, at Gerhardt's Monogram Experience showrooms. And for a limited time, you can receive up to 3 free Monogram appliances during Gerhardt's Luxury for Less Red Tag Sales event.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Northeast High School reopened today for the first time since last week's SEPTA bus stop shooting that left 8 teenagers wounded. Philadelphia is getting $158 million to build a cap over the Vine Street Expressway in Chinatown. And Oppenheimer took home 7 Oscars last night, including Best Picture.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time, and things always look better when we hear out there on the road from Scott Presler, who Laura Trump talked about on this show as somebody, once they took over the RNC, would have a major role. And Scott also involved, and he had one of his people there at the courthouse last time we talked about this, with this raw milk situation. Politico today, their magazine, 10, 11 printed pages, how raw milk went from a whole food staple to a conservative signal. I mean, why in the world shouldn't you be able to drink whole milk if you want, meaning raw milk, whatever term you want to use for it, versus pasteurized? Not for me, but why can't you do that? And how all this started, this used to be people on the left, well, at least Whole Foods favored this, and now it's become another thing that they want to ban. Let's go to the aforementioned Scott Presler here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Scott, welcome back to town. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Well, Scott, when the news broke over the weekend, as expected, that Mr. Walters and Laura Trump would be co-chairs, we played what Laura Trump said. Part one, she talked about it on TV on Sunday, was the defensive part, which is the election integrity part. And I wanted to ask you, before we get to the offense, you're kind of like the offensive coordinator to me, and the other side of it. What is it that you see out there now that either worries you or you think needs to be tightened up, because you specialize in getting people effectively, legally registered, mail-in balloting, et cetera? Well, I never asked you, what is it on the, shall we say, questionable side that you think is still out there?
Well, I love that people see value in the work that I do, and they're always cheering me on and saying, Scott, make sure that you focus on Chester and Delaware and Philly and Allegheny. And, I'm grateful to have that support. But the thing is, I need more help. They respectfully tell me where to go, but I'm like, y'all, I need you, the local people on the ground, to be my boots on the ground, to be my eyes and ears. And when they say, Scott, what are you doing about election integrity? I say very respectfully again, have you signed up to become an election day worker? Have you signed up to make sure that we have safe and secure, fair and free elections? So, I mean, I need it all, guys. I need help registering voters at the farmers markets and gun shows and mud sales and actions. But I also need help making sure that we have election day workers. You know, and that's something that you can simply do by typing into the internet, Pennsylvania election day worker, or Chester County election day worker, or Philadelphia. And furthermore, one thing that we really need help with as well is having volunteers sign up to have tables outside of the polling locations on Tuesday, April 23rd, which is primary day here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And so if you would like to do any of those things, you may go to my website, which is earlyvoteaction.com, early vote, V-O-T-E, V as in Victor, action.com, or you can slide in my DMs on Twitter. But I really need more people to step up to the plate as opposed to just cheering me on, which I do appreciate.
Absolutely. And you made mention of that. And you and I have talked about it's kind of like spring training, this primary season. And that is a point, you know, everybody thinks it's dull because it'll already be decided. But this is where people can feel what it's like to do that and how to do it effectively. And it doesn't take a whole lot, as you said, to be engaged in it.
Correct. Well, and I really want to, in the time that I have allocated with you, talk about what we did this last week.
Sure.
You know, it was a banger week. I went from helping out at a gun show in Fairmont, West Virginia, going to Butler County. You see, here's one problem that we have. We don't have a county chairman for the Pennsylvania GOP for Butler County. So the local people there created their own PAC, their own political action committee called the United Republicans of Butler County. Shout out to Cindy and Cheryl and Mayor J.D. Longo of Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. And then we went over into Mifflin County, Pennsylvania to actually talk to the Amish. So yes, we're doing Lancaster. Yes, we're focusing on the raw milk and the fact that the Department of Agriculture is attacking the Amish way of life. But we went and spoke to sawmill owners, dairy mill owners. We even spoke with a bishop in the Amish community talking about the urgency that if the Amish actually voted, all 80,000 of them, oh my gosh, we would win Pennsylvania and we would win the White House and we would save Western civilization. And last, I just finished in Pike County, P-I-K-E County, which is in Northeast Pennsylvania. And we did a training in Milford. Milford's a small town. We had over 106 people there to do a training. And afterwards, we went out to barber shops and convenience stores and gun stores to go register voters. And we registered new people that haven't voted before. So we are making such progress in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Well, without a doubt. Now, how does it, when will you be able to announce anything with the RNC, or are you already working with the RNC?
Well, I am waiting for my phone call. So,
okay, we'll have to
Mr.
start
Trump, Chairman Watley, if you guys are listening, since you have recently been on the Don Giordano show, you know, I am ready and willing. I'm back home in the Northern Virginia area, so I'm only a hot skip and jump away over from the RNC office.
Well, absolutely. We want that to happen. Scott, I wanted to go back to this raw milk thing, too. A great segue, gateway to the Amish, who are talking about their way of life threatened by this. I don't know if you've seen the Politico article, though. It's pretty insightful that we are against people here now who don't think you ought to be able to make a choice about the type of milk. It's not for me. I don't know you, Scott, but I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. But I know there's an argument, health reasons, that people want to do this.
Oh, well, listen, I'm a little gutted because, like I said, I was just in Mifflin County. I was there for 2 days, and I didn't get to ride in a buggy, and I didn't get to milk a cow. However, the Amish guy, no, I'm serious. You think I'm joking? I'm not joking. The Amish guy that I spoke to, he was delighted when I said I wanted to ride in a buggy and milk a cow. So when I come back, he's going to let me. And that's number one. But number two, you know, the left, they always proclaim that they are pro-choice and that whatever you want to do with your body, you may choose to do. Then why are Democrats, why is the left so anti-organic milk? Why are they anti what is food-rich and nutrient-dense milk and produce? Why are they against us from gardening and from consuming what we choose to consume. And to me, and to anyone that I think is awake, they're really questioning, wow, the Democrats are really trying to be authoritarian. They're really trying to be dictatorial. They're really trying to mandate what you can and cannot put into your body, which I just think is antithetical to everything the Democrats claim they are in support of.
Absolutely. And hopefully the Amish, with your guidance there and what you're breaking through, get that we welcome them. And we don't want to be putting these barriers to their way of life. And it's private anyhow, the people that go to those farms. So, Scott, for everything Scott Presler, more importantly, to win Pennsylvania, as you said, to particularly April 23rd is a big day. It's spring training to learn the ropes on this for the big event. You don't want to go in cold. What should people do? Where do they go on Twitter and otherwise?
Well, real quick, one last thing. I haven't been 100% honest with you guys on the data. I have shared with you that, for example, Pennsylvania voter registration data currently has the Democrats with 405,000 more Ds than ours in your state. But that data includes active plus inactive.
Right.
If you only focus on the active data, guys, that number is actually below 249,000. Yes, I'll repeat that. The D minus R in your state is only 249,000. That number is so much closer than even we have been sharing with you. So to anybody that's a downer, or maybe you're taking the black pill, I just want to reinvigorate you with knowing that we are making such huge progress in your state. If you want to learn more about how to get active, go to my Twitter at Scott Presler, or X, Elon Musk, at Scott Presler, SCOTTPRESLER. You can also go to my website. Please sign up for our newsletter, which is Early Vote, VOTE Action.com. That is my organization, earlyvoteaction.com.
All right, and we're going to get that phone ringing. If we have Laura Trump on this week, expect that phone call coming.
Thank you, Dom. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Scott, as always. Thank you. Thanks for what you're doing. Of course, Scott Presler here on Talk Radio 1210. And again, those numbers, like 249,000, I can remember at times it was clearly over 1 million difference of Dems versus ours in Pennsylvania. Winning Pennsylvania is it. It's within our control, this station and listeners, to do that. And he's right. April 23rd is a good spring training. Side question today, National Cereal Day. Hit us with that all-time food mascot. Let's go. Oh, this is a potential winner. This is one of my favorite, and it's still around, I think, and beautifully done. Let's go to Bill in Bucks. All right, Bill, who is your food mascot and why?
Sorry, Charlie. You just don't make the Star-Kissed. Charlie Tuna.
Yes. Why?
Well, he's always at the bottom of the ocean, and the hook comes down, and they say, sorry, you're not good enough. So only the best.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
See? Sorry, Charlie. Only good-tasting tuna get to be Star-Kissed. Good-tasting 100% tuna fillet.
This is good-tasting tuna.
All right. Let's go to the master. I think Ro had not heard him before, Dan, the other day, and I was trying to explain the cadence and the whole thing. She gets it now. Let's go to Joe of Exton on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe. Good Monday.
Yes. Hello, Dom, and good Monday. In the 1950s and 60s, there was a product of tomato paste, which came in a small can. And on the side of the can was a picture of a woman smiling and holding a basket of tomatoes with a field of tomatoes in her background. And the name of the product was Contadina, which stands for a female farmhand.
Very nice, Joe. Encyclopedia.
Female farmhand.
Female farmhand.
Great answer, Joe.
Yes, exactly.
Nothing will beat this last week, though, Dom.
Who loves you, baby?
Got him to say it with Kojak, and he did it. He didn't
Who loves
just
you, baby.
Yeah. It might be downhill from here. All right, one more, and then we'll have the Dom's Money Melody and your calls. Greta, this is a good one. We could have taken off, but we didn't. We didn't want to take all of them off. Hey, Greta, how you doing? What do you have today?
I'm doing well, Dom. I hope you and Dan are as well. I have the California Raisins. They always had great music, and I only usually like raisins if they're in something else, either a cake or my oatmeal or something. But it was I thought they were always great commercials.
Oh yeah, they're clever, very well done, very executed beautifully. Yeah, they're a star. All right, so we heard from Scott Presler. You heard the good news there. I'm kind of surprised the RNC hasn't brought him in yet, but I think that could happen this week. I'm excited to see what Laura Trump is doing there, both defense and offense. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210, but right now it is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody. It's Dom's Money Melody. Where's all the money gone? Show me the money.
All right, we've talked about this film before. Today you'll win a pair of movie passes to see Cabrini. From the makers of Sound of Freedom, experience the uplifting journey of Francesca Cabrini, arriving in New York City in 1889. Her daring mission transforms lives. Get your tickets to Cabrini now in theaters right now. Dan?
Yeah, Dom. So today I gave a very special food mascot to me, and I thought I'd play off of that for our side topic today. Dom, we're looking for the name of the band that's behind a hit that ties in with this food mascot that you're about to hear about. And Dom, this band, it was sent over by Earl, so I appreciate Earl for this Money Melody clue today. A lot bigger than I ever thought them to be. They had an amazing 1964, releasing a hit that became one of the most recognizable songs of all time, and a couple more hits, Billboard top hits. And then in 1965, they released this novelty song, which was actually a top 10 hit in itself. So, Dom, I just want to know the name of the band behind this song. Take a listen.
In the valley of the jolly, oh, oh, oh. Wow! Heard about the jolly green giant. Potatoes. He's so big and big. Artichoke are.
We're just looking for the name of the band today, Dom.
All right, 855-839-1210. Be the first one in. You're going off to see Cabrini. Do that right now, 855-839-1210.
Women his eyes, and that's why the cat's so mean.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
The National Guard won't police SEPTA after shootings, so says the governor, Josh Shapiro. He wasn't considering such drastic action. While Parker was non-committal Thursday morning about seeking assistance, Shapiro was clear. He's still not considering it. I think it will ultimately be necessary for Shapiro to deploy the National Guard in subways. Maybe they can track areas of the neighborhoods in the cities seem to have a higher rate of crime.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-403-5569 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-403-5569. That's 800-403-5569. What do you have to lose? Call 800-403-5569. Again, 800-403-5569.
It's the time of year to enjoy your life. Hey, Dawn Stensland here. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want to do this spring. Just call my friends at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. For Pro athletes, they've been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you, all of us. So you can walk, run, climb stairs, play golf, move again, pain-free. No pain pills, no risky surgery. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who are reclaiming their mobility. Live your best life this spring and summer. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000. Tell Dawn sent you.
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Thinking about popping the question? Springtime is the perfect time to show that special person in your life how much you care. When you show them that beautiful cozy diamond, they won't have any doubts thanks to Cozy's 5 C's. Color, cut, clarity, carat, and the cozy touch. All that adds up to an unforgettable moment. And an engagement ring from Cozy Jewelers is the only way to improve on a perfect spring day. So head to Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square for all your jewelry needs. Or shop online at cozyjewelers.com.
This is Rhea Hughes with your invitation to experience everything Alexis makes you feel. From exhilarating performance to endless capability to inspiring electrification. Now through April 1st at the Invitation Alexis sales event at Lexus of Cherry Hill, now a 6-time J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence recipient for the customer sales experience. Visit LexusofCherryHill.com. Lexus of Cherry Hill, family owned and operated.
For J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence information, visit jdpower.com/US-DOE.
There's breaking news all day long from around the world, and sometimes all that noise makes it hard to hear about what's happening right here at home. With the free Odyssey app, getting your local news plus breaking news is easy. And even when you're not near a radio, stay connected with what's going on right here by listening live and push alerts. Just download the free Odyssey app and search and follow your local news station, and you're good to go. The local breaking news to get you through your day at your fingertips on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
It's Dom Money Melody.
Where's all the money gone?
Show me the money.
That is right. Every day around 2:12, 2:13 or so, Dan comes up with something. We have a great prize, and we see if you can get it. Let's hear the clue.
I mean to say, this cat was bad. Now looking around, he wasn't gone long. And then he ran into an Amazon. Well, this changed his whole complexion. He had never seen such beautiful.
All right, so we're looking for the name of the band. Lance in South Philly on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Lance, what's the name of the band?
The Kingsmen.
All right. Very
Didn't expect
nice.
to be there for
Dan,
that
you
quick,
just can't, sometimes you can't get a ledge here going. By the way, Lance is a winner. Cabrini is an excellent film, I've heard. Haven't seen it yet, but you'll enjoy it. 2 passes to that. Story that's been filtering up, and it seems that we have more information on this, is that conservative groups, various conservative groups on the surface, they were known to be conservative, were flagged by banks. This is a Treasury Department scandal that's starting to develop today. So we'll see where it leads and how far this went into the Department of Justice and the Treasury Department. All right, they say their mission is to safeguard the financial system from illicit use. It's funny that these are conservative groups that were flagged. And tomorrow, that special counsel that talked about Biden's inability to even comprehend the questions around the probe, around the documents that Biden have, he will testify before the House tomorrow. We had on Bill McSwain, who knows him, admires him, and talked about him as a lawyer and said this guy is incredibly buttoned up. Now, they think they're home free after the State of the Union. Low bar. Biden didn't completely embarrass himself there. But then we saw him saying he was running for Congress in Strathaven on Friday night. So it's not going away. It's still there. And this testimony tomorrow will start that up again. Wanted to play for you, though, what President Biden said over the weekend on MSNBC. We led off the show with it, but there's a development on this that there was no apology, the White House is saying now. What? Listen to this interview. This is coming off Biden saying that he talked about the killer of Lincoln Riley during the State of the Union. He didn't say Lincoln. He said Lincoln twice. Was illegal. Was an illegal person. Here's what he said with Jonathan Capehart on MSNBC yesterday.
I noticed the look of surprise on your face when you walked into the chamber and you saw Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. It was priceless. You feigned shock at seeing her. But during your response to her heckling of you, you used the word illegal when talking about the man who allegedly killed Lincoln Riley.
An undocumented person. And I shouldn't have used illegal. It's undocumented. And look, when I spoke about the difference between Trump and me, one of the things I talked about on the border was that the way he talks about vermin, the way he talks about these people polluting the blood. I talked about what I'm not going to do, what I won't do. I'm not going to treat any of these people with disrespect. Look, they built the country. The reason our economy is growing. We have to control the border and more orderly flow, but I don't share his view at all.
So you regret using that word?
Yes.
Okay, Dan, when you regret something, if you say to Maisie, I regret eating all that pie that you didn't get a piece
But
of.
I'm not going to apologize.
Or to Ro got cashews on sale yesterday. She said, it doesn't seem to be too, I regret that I'm not apologizing for eating all those cashews.
Yeah.
But I regret it. Who do they think they're fooling with, these morons? They think they can just juggle language when it's clear that's an apology. Here's Olivia, I almost said Dunn. She's a chief for this. Dalton. Telling us aboard Air Force One, there's no apology in any of those remarks.
Biden apologized for calling Lincoln Riley's killer an illegal. Does he feel like he needs to apologize to illegal immigrants for calling them what they are? Or do you think the term illegal?
First of all, I want to be really clear about something. The president absolutely did not apologize. There was no apology anywhere in that conversation. He did not apologize. He used a different word. I think what we should be really clear about is the facts.
So you regret using that word?
In addition to the fact that the president did not apologize, I want to make another thing clear. The president spoke directly to this in the State of the Union address not 4 nights ago when he spoke passionately about knowing what it means to lose a child and extended his deep grief and condolences to Lincoln Riley's family in front of the entire country in the House chamber. And beyond that, I think it's unconscionable that there are some people who are playing politics with this young woman's tragic murder, and particularly at a time when, let's not forget, House Republicans are standing in the way of a bipartisan border security agreement that is the toughest bill we have ever seen in history. And they're doing so because Donald Trump feels that the American people's safety is less important than his personal politics. That's the fact.
Hey, Clown Show, why did Lincoln Riley's parents then meet in Rome, Georgia with President Trump? And this idea of playing politics. Now, look, with any of these situations, I've been through a million of them to see how this plays out. When there's a victim, though, and it's broader than this, in other words, the victim here is the face of what we're afraid of. The victim and her parents are not saying Republicans are going too far with this. They're using this politically. We should stand down. Sometimes the surviving members say that. They feel that's happening. No, they see this clearly, what happened here. Not only did he break into the country, not only is he illegal, that's a crime, but also he got away with it in getting out in New York, of course, around other crimes and still being here illegally. Then his brother, last that we heard, allegedly was being brought in on a green card that was illegal. So just trying to follow the trail of this woman. And you can tell, Dan, I'll give her this. She's buttoned up. You can almost hear her mind clicking.
Oh, no, she's bad.
Yeah, but you
think
can
she's
hear
good?
well, in the sense that you can hear. Well, it's preposterous that she's
Yeah,
going
but
down.
like
Go ahead.
I'll play my example here. Exhibit 1 as to why this girl is bad at her job is you would think she put a couple sentences between being a complete hypocrite to herself.
I think it's unconscionable that there are some people who are playing politics with this young woman's
After what she
tragic
did, right.
murder.
Yeah.
And then what did she do?
Particularly at a time when, let's not forget, House Republicans
The next
are standing in the
sentence,
way of a
she plays politics.
Here's the point, though, that I was making. She didn't get that. I think she's just the deliverer. I don't think she is the architect of what the message is going to be. And I hear her mind, she wasn't stumbling, is what I'm saying, Dan. The mind clicking from point to point to point of this preposterous story. Imagine being sent out there to try to develop this argument. And to your point, I think they should have given more breath between accusing Republicans of politics and then doing the politics thing. But saying this wasn't an apology because they know the headline that's damaging, Biden apologizing for illegals, or two illegals, which he is. The whole party's built on this stupid undocumented. And excuse me when I occasionally say the truth. Why did Biden say illegal? Because he knows that that's the proper nomenclature. It's technical. Illegal alien may be better than immigrant even. That's in our language, in our laws. That's what they are. And once we move away from that and say something nebulous and euphemistic like what they're undocumented, it just gets away. Well, what's that have to do with it? How would they have papers? They can't have papers. They're coming in illegally. Well, people can't be illegal. I take your point, though, Dan. You're right. There could have been more between it. But I just admire the shamelessness to click from point to point to point, starting with the premise that he did not apologize. Right there. It's off kilter. He did apologize. He has to apologize. He knows he can't use that language. It would have been interesting if Capard, who's a shill for this, had said, so you're apologizing. He was in on it. He said, so you regret it. Well, why do you regret something and you're talking about it if you're not apologizing? Well, I'm not apologizing for do that, but I regret it. Just wanted you to know that. My goodness gracious. All right. 855-839-1210. They know this is a hot button. They know this is emotionally charged. By the way, Snickers came out over the weekend with a statement. They want America to know either the bar or the singles or whatever. They have not shrunk it, Dan. That's the latest.
You know what? Through this entire thing, I eat a lot of Snickers and candy bars, way more than someone at my age should be eating. And I've noticed that Snickers really hasn't shrunk.
Yeah, it's not.
It's weird that that's his example because there's a lot of shrinkage out there, but Snickers.
Yeah, I just want to see Bob Casey Jr., the genius behind it. Can you imagine that genius behind this with Biden telling him about shrinkflation and look at your Snickers, Joe?
Well, count the number of Skittles. That's a better example.
Let's do that. Right. So that's
staffers counting the amounts of candy in packages.
I get emotional. The illegal immigration, of course, that's one of the things I've been on to the border and the whole thing. But I get emotional at Americans not being able to buy what they routinely could buy in the past due to this guy and these historians and all getting into his head and spending this money. Now he wants to spend $7.3 trillion in the new budget and tax more people, allegedly, which won't work to pay for it. The idea of euphemism here, and when you slip occasionally and say illegal, which it is not a slur. This is the thing. They're not going to win. They're not going to get over on us with this. It is not a slur. Now, maybe we should change it. I would button it up even more. I would call it illegal alien because that's in all of our language. It's in all the laws, etc. We don't want to use illegal immigrant. But that is not a slur. It's a factual statement. If you want to say undocumented, go right ahead. But it's not a slur that's used. They built the country. Oh, my God. Again, that's a slur back to the Dolans of the world. Comparing what's happening now with people overrunning the country, many times getting all kinds of benefits, to people who actually did come here and build the country. Who are the people that actually built the country? People that came in legally in the great migrations, Italians, Poles, the Irish. We have all three covered here. Kelly, the law firm of Kelly, Borowski, Giordano. They're the people that built the country. Not what we're seeing now. Not seeing this coming across this way. No. Oh, that's why the economy's so good. 855-839-1210. All right, you get in. Love to hear you on that. But Dan, I have to take your point a little bit more. I just was amazed because I could actually see the sentences forming. The pivot to the pivot to the pivot to the pivot. She had 5 pivots in just a minute or two.
It's like a basketball practice. You know, with the pivot foot that you see.
Yeah, exactly.
One pivot foot to the other.
Yeah, this woman is gold. I mean, she's an up and comer. We need to hear more of this nonsense.
Yeah, I just stumbled upon a montage of the media going after Biden for using the term illegal.
Let's hear a little bit of that.
The president is walking back a controversial term he used during his State of the Union remarks. Biden used the word, quote, illegal.
He used the term illegal. He used the word illegal.
He used the word illegal.
He used the word illegals to describe people.
He did use a word that did bother people. Immigration advocates don't want to hear him use the word illegal.
Do you regret using the word illegal to describe immigrants last night, sir?
I kind of jumped as well when I heard that word.
We normally don't use that word because people are not illegal.
To be clear, no human being is illegal. Congressman Chuy Garcia saying he was extremely disappointed to hear the president use that word illegal.
Joaquin Castro has said like this, using that word and illegal, dehumanizing is problematic. What did you make of that?
That's probably true. He probably should have used a different word.
Like Joe Biden's ad libs in the past, this one kind of got him in some trouble, particularly with Democrats who don't use the word illegal, call undocumented workers.
Saying to the broad Democratic base, I hear you, I hear your concern, and I shouldn't use that word is a smart thing to do.
Again, we're talking about the behavior. We're not saying a person. That construction to me is mindless. A person can't be illegal. Well, according to our laws and according to the system, they can be an illegal alien. And we're not going to surrender to you in this war on language should you keep on day after day after day. And Olivia Dalton is going to be a superstar in this. She was buttoned up as far as every point here. But who told her to say there was no apology there? Dan, you would think she would at least say, well, I wouldn't call it an apology. I would just say it was a recognition. She just said there was no apology there. I wonder if that grammarian who writes for the Inquirer, the fraudulent over there, that's just an ideologue, is going to say this was not an apology. That's a column this week, I bet. I may have to write a counter column. 855-839-1210.
The president absolutely did not apologize.
There was no apology in there. Hey, are you looking for a way to boost energy, support your heart, and age with grace? Well, it's time to check out Oracine from Rescue Natural Supplements. Oracine provides essentials our bodies need to naturally combat fatigue and increase stamina without the high sugar, caffeine, unhealthy ingredients common in those superficial energy boosters. Plus, Rescue Oracine supports healthy blood pressure and cardio function. Now, for a limited time, Dom listeners can take advantage of a special buy one, get one free on Rescue Oracine. Just use the code FUEL when ordering to get this exclusive deal. Call them today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code FUEL online at res-q.com. res-q.com. Remember that code FUEL, F-U-E-L. Buy one Oracine, get another free. Go to res-q.com now. Stay fueled and fit with Rescue Oracine.
The wind advisory stays with us until 8 o'clock tonight. Overnight, we'll get down to 40 degrees, clear sky, and still rather windy. For tomorrow, 65, the high. We'll see some sunshine. On Wednesday, we'll get up to 70 degrees. And then on Thursday, even warmer, 72.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive. Like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
and Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go? I did it. I got the job. I can't believe it. I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds guaranteed with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into their radio show Sundays at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
Are you tired of dealing with those old, inefficient windows in your house? Well, maybe it's time to go Guida. How about that drafty, beat-up-looking entry door you painted over more times than you can count? Well, go Guida. Need added protection from the elements with a new storm door? Go Guida. And what about that sliding patio door or garage door you've been meaning to replace? Go Guida. Whatever your home improvement needs are, I suggest you go Guida with the great people at Guida Door and Window. To help you get your project started, Guida is offering 20% off all windows and doors while allowing you to start your project with no money down and up to 3 full years to pay it off interest-free. That's right. Receive 20% instant savings with the luxury of paying off your project interest-free for up to 36 months. Restrictions apply, offers for a limited time, so what are you waiting for? It's time you finally go Guida. Call today to schedule a free in-home estimate at 1-877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Northeast High School reopened today for the first time since last week's SEPTA bus stop shooting that left 8 teenagers wounded. Philadelphia is getting $158 million to build a cap over the Vine Street Expressway in Chinatown. And Oppenheimer took home 7 Oscars last night, including Best Picture.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
The wind advisory stays with us until 8 o'clock tonight. Overnight, we'll get down to 40 degrees, clear sky, and still rather windy. For tomorrow, 65, the high. We'll see some sunshine. On Wednesday, we'll get up to 70 degrees. And then on Thursday, even warmer, 72.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. We'll always be here for you. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, it is time today, National Cereal Day, so we've spun that off into hit us with that all-time food mascot. Also, this ongoing from the State of the Union that the Biden people can't clean up. So it seems like, I don't think Olivia Dalton did it herself. They determined the way to clean it up is to say no apology here. Republicans playing politics. And yet the parents and others are out there. You know, and as far as, is it politics? If, say, Laken Riley's family, Dan, wanted to endorse President Trump at some point, the Enquirer's Sunday editorial, the biggie, you talk about all hands on deck. They say to stop Trump, they're calling out celebrities with local ties should be recruited in any way possible to stop him. Taylor Swift, they're going all the way to Reading for that one. Jalen Hurts, Bradley Cooper, Pink, Joel Embiid, M. Night Shyamalan, Tina Fey, Charles Barkley, and Patti LaBelle. But it doesn't stop there. They say that to reach out to independents and moderates in the surrounding suburbs, we should have Tom Ridge, Charlie Dent, Jim Greenwood, Sandra Schultz Newman, Liz Cheney, Nikki Haley, and Chris Christie. Oh, my God. It's a murderer's row. Can you imagine Trump with this litany, the nicknames that will come up? Scale of 1 to 10, how bad was the Sloppinopolis for the Stephanopoulos? Yeah, that wasn't a good. I mean, the only nickname that I ever thought really landed was the low energy of a Jeb Bush. That was
Oh, yeah.
so
That was a good
on
one.
point. Clap now. You can clap now. The others, Crooked Hillary.
Please clap.
I know people say that, but he likes to throw crooked around with just about anybody. You know.
The weirdest thing about me is that I don't sweat.
Yeah, and she's a good target. You got to do better on that.
You know?
I don't think that sanctimonious ever really worked. And did Bird Brain work with Nikki Haley?
No.
No. All right, let's go to Tom.
I like sloppy Chris Christie.
Oh, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because he says in a ramble, he's talking, then he goes, and sloppy Chris Christie, just as an aside.
Christie.
He had a good thing on Squawk Box today. He said, yeah, Joe Biden, always on the beach, thinks he looks good in a bathing suit. The guy broke up. All right, Tom at Prospect Park. Hey, Tom, good afternoon.
Hey, guys. Now, as far as the left saying Joe Biden didn't apologize for using the word illegal, instead saying that he just regrets using it. Isn't that worse? Like that saying that he's not sorry for using the word, that he spoke the truth and just regrets that he said it?
Yeah, you could look at it that way. So that means it was a truthful comment. He regrets, though, that he put it out there. That's right.
It just seems worse than saying that he didn't apologize.
Well, look, they have assessed, Tom, that this is distracting from what they think was a success, the State of the Union, big time. So what they're doing is they're just putting a stop to it in their view. And you're right. All it does when you get into these semantics is to go back and forth and say, this doesn't make any sense. And obviously, then you wish you hadn't said it. Why?
Okay, have a nice day, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom, very much. Scott of Mount Laurel on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Scott, afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hey, Scott, can I get you quickly on this since you are basketball second to none in my view, right? The situation with the referees in the big game there, the Camden game.
Yeah, Camden against Manasquan, yes.
Yeah,
very familiar with it.
Yeah, what's been left out is people fail to say that they're pretending like they didn't call. They did call it a basket. It wasn't like they were deciding. They did say, or at least one referee said it was good. Then they rescinded it. That's a big difference.
Yeah, there's no question. No question about it. I was all over Twitter with that, with the guys that cover it. And that is the real point, because the ones that are trying to soft soap it are saying, well, bad calls happen. And if it would have been called wrong in real time, hey, I would agree, bad calls happen. But what happened was the shot went in. It was clearly before the buzzer to win the game for Manasquan. The ref in the C block, which is on the side, that's his call. There's no question. He came in the middle of the court. He signaled with his arm down that the basket was good. There was no doubt. The other two refs, and you can see it on the video, they did nothing. So normally, if a ref were to disagree with a call, especially one that he might want to overturn, especially in that kind of a situation, he would come running in, blowing his whistle, waving his arms like a madman. He made no motion at all. The refs are leaving the court. They're literally leaving the court. The Camden AD or coach, I'm not sure which, comes over, stops the trail ref, one of the guys who did not make any motion at all. Suddenly there's a meeting with the officials. This is 45 seconds after the game is over. Manasquan is celebrating. And they convinced the guy who made the original call, because he has to overrule his own call. That's kind of how they do it when they tell him that he made a mistake. They convince him to wave off and change and say, no, it wasn't good. Now, the explanation from the NJSIA, which is the New Jersey Scholastic Association that governs all this in New Jersey high school sports, was that the trail ref saw that even though it turns out he was wrong, he thought that the ball was still in the player's hand when the horn went off. But the question is, then why didn't he say anything at the time, in real time?
No,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this Scott, I think, demands more investigation here. Not only that, I'm not a big fan of technology and all that, particularly at the high school level. But on something like this, when it was readily available and they had a dispute like this, they should have done it. It's ridiculous. And I knew you would see it that way, that they called it good. It's not they made a mistake and they couldn't go back on it. It was good.
Right. They didn't need replay. The question is, why did they change the call? Why? How did a guy go from making no motion in real time to being the one who told the guy who said he was 99% sure that he was right when he called it good? It convinced him he was wrong. He was that sure when he didn't say anything in real time.
I can imagine
it's impossible to believe.
If you were the coach, you're a respectable guy, but if I were coaching, they'd have to take me out. Scott, hold on with your thought for a moment. Big news with the Eagles, Dan.
Yeah, this just broke. This broke about a minute ago, Dom. A huge news. Huge signing for the Philadelphia Eagles as we sign Saquon Barkley, former Giants running back. Welcome to the Philadelphia Eagles, sir.
Penn State running back, too. Big, and they tell us that running backs don't matter in the NFL. Another bites the dust. Hey, Scott, who's your mascot?
Oh, wait. Well, I got to say this Barkley thing. It's not going to do any good if they don't give him the ball.
There you go. Yes, exactly.
I mean, I don't know if they're changing philosophies or what.
Can you imagine the people in the Eagles, the Darius Slay, who says these fans are always yelling, run the ball. Why do they do that? Oh, with Saquon Barkley back there and we're not running the ball. Oh, man.
Yeah, one other thing with this illegal stuff is the census issue is going to become an issue, that they're going to gain power in certain areas.
That's the biggie.
But I guess we'll probably go. And I guess we have to say that it's a person who is here illegally, not an illegal person. We got to play a little semantical game with that, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Who's your
and one other thing, I think that when we catch people shoplifting from now on, we should call them undocumented shoppers.
That's right. They're not illegal, and they have a right to it anyhow. All right, who's your person, Scott?
Right.
Your mascot?
It is the Trix Rabbit.
That is a great one. That is a great one. Thank you, Scott. I wish we had you earlier. That is big breaking news, Dan. I'm shocked that they did it.
3 years, Dom. 3-year contract, $37.75 million.
That you keep all of it, though, or is it just
$26 million is fully guaranteed at the signing. Yeah.
All right. Well, but he's right. They're not going to run the ball. They have in their head, this is all paid. It's a ludicrous. I'm surprised. And I hope he doesn't get hurt. He's a great back.
Well, that's the big thing is the guy has a huge injury history. Every year it seems like he misses at least a couple games.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We'll get the lightning round coming up. What a show today here on Talk Radio 1210.
We are Nick and Genevieve Roberts, and we've been with Crash Proof Retirement since 2019.
With Crash Proof Retirement, we have no worries whatsoever. We can't lose money. You only keep making money. Come home and tell your wife, hey, we made money today. You never have a bad conversation.
The next market year, they're predicting inflation and recession, and you won't have to worry about any of that. I wake up a lot happier. We're not worrying about my retirement.
One of the other great things about Crash Proof Retirement is the interest that we earn going forward earns interest on itself. If I left that money in the bank, you're lucky if you get 1%. And since you can't lose money with Crash Proof Retirement, I never get blamed for losing money.
Learn how you can outperform the markets with no risk of loss at Spring Mill Manor on March 19th. Registration is required. Call 800-722-9728 or visit crashproofretirement.com.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, an XC40 can be leased for as low as $459 and an XC90 leased for as low as $629. Interest rates are as low as 4%. Along with Volvo-sponsored incentives, the Cherry Hill Volvo offers are very aggressive. When purchasing or leasing a new Cherry Hill Volvo, special additional incentives will be given when the transaction is completed by March 18th. Spring into Cherry Hill Volvo now for these incredibly fabulous offers.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Now is the time to book an ultimate kids spring break getaway at my happy place, the beautiful oceanfront Grand Hotel in Cape May. Available March 24th through April 4th. Book 2 nights, save 5%. Stay 3 or 4 nights, save 10%. Stay 5 nights or more nights, and save 15% off regular rates. Breakfast included in all packages. Enjoy their indoor heated pool, restaurant, arcade for the kids, and so much more. Book direct with them for the best rates. Call 800-257-8550 or visit them at grandhotelcapemay.com.
If you're looking for that perfect piece of furniture, you have to check out Bucks County Estate Traders. They have the largest in-stock inventory in the region, and I mean largest, enough to fill a 58,000 square foot showroom. Quality, high-end furniture and accessories, modern, traditional, mid-century, all types of European styles, current pieces, as well as antiques. They'll arrange to ship anywhere, or you can pick up in-store. So visit them on Bethlehem Pike in Hatfield or at buckscountyestatetraders.com.
We gathered real Pennsylvania seniors and asked them how they would benefit from an extra $1,000. Here's what they had to say.
Everything is so expensive these days.
Car expenses, repairs,
Like groceries, heating costs.
medications. Sure, I could easily spend $1,000 like that.
Through Pennsylvania's property tax rent rebate program, eligible seniors and adults with disabilities could receive up to $1,000. Check your eligibility and apply online. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
You've heard it said, he's a diamond in the rough. Or maybe, diamonds are forever. Here's something else I've learned about diamonds. They're just pieces of coal put under pressure for a long, long, long time. So when I start feeling like I want to give up, I think about that little piece of coal. And if that piece of coal can make something of itself by not giving up, so can I. Persistence is in you. Pass it on. From PassItOn.com.
Hello, America. It's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you don't have Consumer Cellular yet, now is the perfect time to switch and save. For a limited time, new customers can get wireless service for as low as $15 a month for your first year. Yep, the same exact nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for $15 a month for an entire year. What are you waiting for? Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com and use code RADIO15.
See consumercellular.com/firstyear15 for promotional details.
It's Dom time. Dom Giordano. Weekdays, noon till 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
All right, it's a lightning round. Be ready. Hit us with your food mascot, Gene in Abington. Gene, who do you have?
I wish I were an Oscar Mayer wiener.
That is a great one. The Wienermobile, the whole thing. That is a very good one. Robert in Ben Salem. Robert, who's yours?
No time to deconstruct that prior caller, so I will go with the Frito Bandito.
Very nice. Jane in the Northeast. Jane, who's yours?
Hi.
Hi.
Yes. Hi. I had the spokesman for Cracker Jack back in the day. His name is Jack Guilford. You just couldn't wait to eat the Cracker Jack and find the toy.
All right. Very nice. One that's controversial and has been taken out of circulation with the Earl of Tacony. Earl, who's yours?
I mean, Lloyd Braun, who sold non-fat yogurt that made people fat, or Chinese gum that made you sick, or computers. Oh, he didn't sell the computers because the phone wasn't plugged in. So I'm going to have to go with Aunt Jemima, which was actually 12 different actresses, starting with the 1893 Chicago World's Fair.
Wow. I knew there were a lot. I knew there were a ton there. All right, Dan, you seem to center in on one call, though, that I think was very different today, but
yeah,
there were some good, really good ones.
I mean, Earl's is great. I love the little factoid
Yeah.
there, the 12 different
Yes.
Jemima actresses. But Joe and Exton earlier called it with Contandina and
Yes.
gave us a translation and said that it's a woman of the field. Just a combination of Joe and Exton calling him with the woman of the field, Contandina, as the mascot.
Yeah, it's one of a kind. All
Who
right,
was it, baby?
we'll put that into the hat today. Oh, my God. All right, Rich Cioli's back and ready to go next for 4 big hours. I'm going to go home and say, I regret that, bro. Your apology. I'm sorry. I just regret it.
No apology.
No
Dom.
apology. No apology, Dom. That's the watchword here on
No
Talk
regrets.
Radio 1210.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, it's Dawn. Need a lawn care service? Choose a company that provides better results and is safer for your family and pets. Choose Natural Lawn. They've been creating green lawns quickly, more naturally, and with fewer weeds since 1987. Their technicians work to determine the specific needs of your lawn, which reduces the need for chemicals and creates a safer lawn. Take advantage of Natural Lawn's limited time offer, free seeding every year. Call 800-FREE-SEED. Choose my lawn care company, Natural Lawn of America. Greener grass, fewer weeds, guaranteed.
Today, everyone is trying to eat healthier and eat more fresh foods. Well, that also goes for your four-legged friends. Hi, I'm George Parenti, the lead dog at the Dogs and Cats Rule stores. If you are not aware of the new generation of fresh food diets available for your four-legged friends, then you are missing out. At Dogs and Cats Rule, we carry a wide-ranging selection of fresh foods that includes raw, gently cooked, freeze-dried, air-dried, and baked. To learn more, visit any of our 7 locations. Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute have formed a powerful alliance. Legends in Caregiving New Jersey families, the most sophisticated heart team in America. Innovators in research and patient care who've made life better for thousands of patients, raising the standard for the next generation of care. The alliance between Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute means the highest quality care close to home for you. DemandDeborah.org.
Hey, it's Nick, and what I love about working with our friends from the Piazza Auto Group is getting to test drive so many amazing vehicles. Recently had the chance to check out the 2024 Honda Pilot Trail Sport, which features a 7-mode drive system, Trail Watch multi-view camera, 18-inch alloy wheels, and wireless Apple CarPlay. Well, you too can explore the new Honda Pilot at any of the 5 Piazza Honda locations in Philadelphia, Pottstown, Reading, Springfield, and Langhorne, or shop all of their inventory at PiazzaAutoGroup.com.
Not all water heaters are made equally. Some can be temperamental. Some can be unreliable and don't even think about what happens if you have neighbors downstairs.
Why is it raining inside my apartment?
Not with a Navien tankless water heater. You'll never run out of hot water. You